mean, there are so many arguments for Twitch because it is actually a streaming platform for gamers. So, you know, there's that. But then the other side of the story is that, well, I have a ton more followers on YouTube, so it just kind of makes more sense to me, you know, when you're kind of thinking from a logical standpoint. It just makes more sense logically to just stream on YouTube. But I honestly have always wanted to grow a Twitch platform, so I don't know. I mean, I love streaming on Twitch and feeling like I'm part of the gaming community on there. Glasses game for the Switch, you know? Like, I'd expect this to be on Steam or PlayStation 4, Xbox. Not really Switch. I guess they're diversifying their audience. Oh my gosh, look at these guys. What is this? Like little neighborhood gangs. Oh my gosh! It's a dance battle.
Ninja Law!
Shinobi. Okay. And this is cute. Oh, this is cute. I love it. It's so funky. I like the music. Kawaii. What the heck is this? It almost seems like it's a multiplayer game, right? That's so cheesy. Ippon. Hajime mashou. Oh my gosh. That was fun. That was funky. I like it. Did you see my comment about MotoGP and character selection yesterday? I didn't. Where did you leave that comment? Oh my gosh. Are you serious? What the heck is this? Crab Wars? And why are they fighting each other? Shouldn't they be fighting the humans like I will not become your food, human? What the hell? This is the most... Okay, this is clearly the most random game on the planet. Clearly. This makes Manny to look normal. What? They have like proper weapons and shit. Who knew we needed to see crabs fighting each other? Why is this a full-on crab battle? We will never know.
You win.
Fight crab. Rejog my memories.
I have imagined it, our downfall, 1,000 times. But it still breaks my heart to hear the truth.
Oh, this is that Midas game. This was kind of interesting. So this is like a detective game, but you're going back in
Take a
time.
look at this wondrous place.
And I call it the Midas game
Complete
because
strangers
person
brought
keeps turning
together by
everything
the
into gold.
fates. To live out our days in a paradise we can never leave. And in all our time together, not a single crime has been committed. Our bond is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die.
Wow.
We've come to call it the Golden Rule. Every moment we're walking on eggshells, and I have grown more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. Someone
I love
is
the
about to
setting of
break
this
the
game.
Golden Rule. I need you to talk to my people.
Whoa, did you
Help
see that
them
creepy
win
lady? Oh
their
my
trust.
god.
Figure out
That was
who
freaky.
is about to end our lives. And by any means necessary, stop them. If all else fails, and our darkest fears are realized, I will use my dying breath to give you a second chance. The fate of this city is in your hands.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I do remember that comment, Simone, and I remember thinking that's ridiculous.
Fight
like,
Crab. Heck
if
yeah.
you're a female
Later on today,
character
we'll be
in a
taking a
game
real
and they
deep
still
dive
refer
into
to
all
you as
things
he or
SpongeBob,
him,
the
that's
Battle for
just
Bikini
weird.
Bottom, Rehydrated, hosting yet
weird.
another charity speedrun, and sharing a special Xbox One X update on smart delivery. Plus, our News, Games, and More crew will be sharing our IGN Icons interview with Tony Hawk, not to mention Chad Michael Collins of Sniper fame guesting tomorrow.
That's all just around the corner, but right now, Tom Marks is going to give us a closer look at 30XX, a roguelike action platformer you can play with a friend. Tell us more, Tom.
Welcome back to check out this game on IGN Summer of Gaming, highlighting exciting, under-the-radar games worth your attention. As a sequel to the excellent 20XX, the aptly named 30XX keeps the original's infinitely replayable roguelike Mega Man concept, but expands it in just about every way imaginable. Check out some exclusive new gameplay from 30XX's Clock Tower themed level.
Oh yes, I like this one. I saw this yesterday. I love it. It's so old school. Heck yes. Oh no! So cool. Oh man, that was epic. Ah! Oh my gosh. Woo! You got this. Damn, this play is good. Isn't this so old school, guys? Look at him hopping about. Oh my gosh. Attack! Whoa. This player is too good. Oh god! Oh my gosh! Okay. I would have died 20 times already. Oh my gosh, this player has mastered this game. This is super duper epic though. I'm loving it.
Like what you see? Then head on over to IGN.com or YouTube.com/IGN to watch the full extended version of this gameplay.
I might just do that. I really like it. Oh my gosh, it's so watchable. But it's only watchable when there's a really good player, do you know what I mean? Is it Mega Man? I don't know.
We are going under the sea for a very exciting adventure with Martin Kreischer, producer from THQ Nordic. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So we have you for a very exciting remaster that I know myself and so many people in this community are very excited for. We're going to talk about SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom.
God,
Rehydrated.
seriously.
Exactly.
I made a
So
SpongeBob
it's the
game.
remake of the 2003 classic 3D platformer set in the
What?
SpongeBob universe.
All the kids will be
Probably,
going crazy about this game.
Arguably the most beloved SpongeBob game of all times.
I mean, you're not going to get any arguments from me. Did you guys anticipate the excitement for Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated? Because, like, it is kind of insane how I know people in my office as well were just, like, freaking out. I mean, I know this is something that I played a lot as a kid, and I adored this game. And, like, hearing that it's coming back in, like, a gorgeous remaster like this is super exciting.
Nope. Nobody knows.
We did anticipate it to a degree. I think on that level of
I had
excitement is
SpongeBob
always
on
something
Xbox.
you hope for, but not
Simone,
100%
oh my
anticipate.
gosh.
Because after all, it's a genre that some may say that for adults isn't, it's not what you play regularly. But I think that's also the strength. There is not that many 3D platformers out there.
So yeah, going back to
on
what
all
I was
these
saying, I'm
platforms,
still kind
and
of
it's just one of the
deliberating
best
about
ones that was ever made.
whether
And
I
there's
should
just also not that much next-gen content
play or
that
stream on
features
Twitch or
SpongeBob,
YouTube.
and he's just
I mean,
one of
like
the
I
most
said,
beloved
I
characters of
think
all
there's a
time.
lot of value
So I
in
think
Twitch
this all
simply
came together
because
to
it
create
is
this
the
amazing
streaming
momentum that
platform
we're
for
this wave
gamers.
we're riding.
So
And
I mean, there's
which
that,
is very happy that the
which is a
fans are
huge
happy,
plus.
that the fans of the
But at
original
the
of
same time, I have
series,
so many
that
followers on
everybody's happy and
YouTube
excited.
that would
And I
like
think
me
it's
to
always
stream
really
on
able to keep
YouTube
this
that
to
I
the
just
players.
feel
I think one of the
conflicted
coolest
about
things
it.
about
Do
this
you know what
game
I mean?
too is that it really touches on a
That's the
point in
awkward thing.
SpongeBob history that everyone really loves and is fond of, and of course, kind of like the originals, like SpongeBob is still going. And I know in previous interviews you guys said that
So,
you're trying to incorporate
that's
some
kind
of
of
like
the
the
whole
more modern art
reason why
style
I'm
as well, and bring a little bit more
still
vibrancy
trying
to
to
this,
figure
correct?
out pros and cons
Yes.
as
So
well.
basically, the game is from around season 2.
And I
So
also
this
don't
is
want to
really
keep
the golden
switching. Like
age
I
where
already went
Steven
from YouTube to
Hillenburg
Twitch just to
was
try
still
out Twitch,
helming
and
the series,
it's been
who
very
unfortunately
slow
passed away, the
growth on there
creator
for
of
me.
SpongeBob. And
Keep going as you are and build up your fan
we
base
updated, of course, the
inside.
art style
Yeah,
to the
I
current, to
completely
the way
agree with
that
you, Simone.
current
Thank you so
also
much.
children
I
experience
agree.
SpongeBob.
The only
And
issue
we
is I
added
just don't know
little
where to
hints to
to build
newer
up the fan base, because
seasons,
I know that
little,
there's a ton
like
of people who watch
handsome
me on
Squidward or
YouTube,
stuff
and there's
like
very
this.
few that watch
So
me on
the
Twitch.
classics
But
from
like I
latest
said, I think there's so much
episodes.
value in
But the
Twitch that
story and all
that's
the
where I
setting and
currently
everything is
stream. I
really
don't know
from
whether
that
I should
time.
continue to stream
And
there.
that's honestly just such like a great
Um,
way to merge both fandoms.
and just to keep
I
going.
guess like the older and the newer.
This
'cause,
looks
the
so
diehard
playable
old fans
though,
are
I'm
just
not
probably
gonna lie,
rewatching
this
the
looks
first 3
really
or 4
kind of
seasons
playable.
and then calling it a day. But there's so much more to SpongeBob. I actually was watching it recently just to kind of like see like where's SpongeBob these days, and he's still in a really great place. So it's cool to see that you guys have found like really fun ways.
She
to
said she
integrate
watches
both.
it to see where
So
is
right now,
SpongeBob
we are
these
looking
days, and
at
he's
this
in a
level of
really
downtown
great
Bikini
place.
Bottom. It's really good to see it in all of its
You have
glory.
almost 600
So I'm
subs.
actually
It's
originally from
brilliant.
Texas.
Thank
and
you,
I went on the
Simone.
Texas part
Yes,
yet, or
I
the
know.
Sandy
I'm
part. So
just
I was super excited to
totally
see
shocked.
her in
I
action,
mean,
and of course,
I
singing
can't
multiple
even
Texas
I can't even
symbols
explain how
throughout
much
the
I
level.
appreciate
What do
everybody.
you guys like about
And the
this level in
support
particular?
is ridiculously overwhelming.
Well, first of all,
So,
it's
I mean, yeah,
the first moment
the
where
subs
you,
on
as
this
you say,
channel
can
have
actually
gone through
experience
the
Sandy.
roof.
With all her
And
cool
I'm just
skills
like,
and her
oh my
lasso and all
gosh,
this kind of stuff.
how do
So
I
this is
even
actually
thank
also the
people?
first
You know,
time
because I'm
we're
constantly
showing this in a big way.
showing my love on
Because she's
Instagram, but I
basically,
know
I think
not many
combat-wise, she's
people follow
probably
me there. There's only
the
like
best
around
character in the game with her lasso. She
140
can lasso people from
people.
far away and all this kind of stuff.
So it's difficult to,
So this is pretty exciting about it. And apart from that, it's also one of the most
okay, 1
iconic
second. Let me
locations
turn this
because it's
down
just
real
this,
quick.
it's downtown
So,
Bikini Bottom.
hi,
So
Big
it's
Boss, by the way,
houses
konnichiwa.
that you just, they're
I was
ingrained
saying
in your,
that
in your
it's
mind
difficult
from
to kind
watching
of
the
let
series. These
everyone
are
know
those
on a
typical
regular
metal
how
houses
grateful I
that
actually
look a
am,
bit as
because
if
I'm
they were built
super
from
duper
broken submarines and stuff
grateful.
like
I
this.
just I wish there
And I
was
think
one way I could
now
just
with
tell
the higher
everybody, and I feel like
fidelity
it's a
of
bit
an
redundant to
Untitled
make a
4
video
of
saying
modern
thank
consoles and modern
you, but I
PCs,
definitely will,
you can really,
especially when I hit 1K
on a
subs,
whole
because
different
that's
level,
just
this kind of feeling
absolutely
of really
crazy.
walking through
But
Bikini
yeah, I
Bottom,
mean,
like
there's
really
so
walking
many of
through
you
this
guys
world.
that are so sweet
Yeah,
and have
absolutely. And I
constantly
feel like
said
even though it's not
that
necessarily a one-on-one
they
creation with all of like
the
the
reasons why
episodes,
they
is
like
that
my videos
Downtown
and
Bikini
how
Bottom
they found
definitely
my
changes between
channel,
the
etc.
episodes.
I
It
often
is
get
nice
those
to feel like
messages
that
on
there are those
Instagram the
iconic
most, because
spots
that's
like
where a
that
lot of people
where
like to just
SpongeBob's hall
send me
monitor and you get
messages
the
or
view from the
interact
corner
with
in
me
the dark.
there.
Like you can just like imagine where that would take place here. And
I
it's
love
really
it.
cool
I
to see that.
can't even
You've said in previous
explain
interviews
how
that
grateful
Purple
I am,
Lamp has
but
dug
yeah,
into some of the
it's
cut
still
content
this
from the original and
ongoing
built it for
thought in my
Rehydrated, like
mind.
the
I'm
robust
just still
Squidward boss.
unsure
What's the most
which
exciting
platform
new
to
addition
stream on,
to
because
Rehydrated?
as much as YouTube's
Well, I think
growing,
overall,
and as much
it's
as
the
people
new
of
multiplayer mode.
watching me on here live.
So basically,
I'm just not sure if
we were
it's
kind
the
of faced
gaming
with this
platform,
challenge
do you know
of,
what I
okay,
mean?
how
But
do you
that
keep
being
a,
said, there are
a-
plenty of
a
gamers that
beloved,
stream on this
revered
platform.
classic the way it was.
But
and
yeah,
still try
it's
to
just one of
bring
those
back
things.
these
It's a
things without them
catch-22.
interfering with the basic single player experience of the people remember.
This looks
And
so
so we
flippin'
basically took a
playable,
lot of this
though.
cut content that was sometimes
Like, stupid
concept art,
playable.
or it was an unfinished level that you could, sneak into if you hacked the old game.
She found a spatula.
we took that and put it all into this multiplayer where 2 players can often online play together as 7 different characters from the SpongeBob universe, and you just fight against hordes and hordes of robots. So I think this is the biggest new feature by far, because it basically includes a lot of little hints to all these cut content. For example, Robo Squidward, who's basically your boss in the multiplayer.
I feel like that's such a great way to reincorporate those things. Like, again, to keep the fidelity of like that original feeling, like not to like really mess with the story too much, but to give something entirely new that doesn't really impact the core game. And I think that's such a great way to do that. So the multiplayer is a horde mode. How hard is it?
Well, it depends. It depends on. I think the thing is that it's about like 26 islands, if I have it correct in my mind. So it's quite a long challenge to get to the end, and basically each island, it gets harder and harder. At some point, Robo Squidward starts attacking you, and all these kind of things. So the first few islands are not going to be a big challenge for anybody who's used to playing
What
these kind of video games.
Well, the only
but
threat
it does
is
progressively get harder and harder and harder. And to reach the very last island, you do need to have some stamina and some good skills.
It's really cool that you guys brought in so many of the characters too. Who was the most difficult to design for multiplayer?
Well, I have to speak for the developer there a little bit, but I think it's since they have all the everybody has one normal attack and one dash attack, and then it was mainly also about deciding what kind of little differences are between the characters. For example,
one of those little, things that she's attaching herself to like swing herself across from. You miss even one of them and drop to the bottom.
And
oh my gosh.
So it was more about
it's
actually the decision, where do we take the animations, the fight, the move set from. So Mr. Krabs fights with this swordfish skull from the episode where he's on that cemetery, and if you play Gary, which for me is the funniest one to play, you grow this huge 50s shoes that he sometimes has in the series, or he gets a frying pan in his mouth and you whack the robots with it. So I think a lot of thought went into this to really make sure that even those little moves that you have in the multiplayer, that you recognize them from some of the episodes.
Oh, she nearly fell.
I love that. It's like she's really putting in that thought to make it something that's not just fun, but also really harkens to those really big moments, or just like small details that you might have forgotten. And I just love that. It kind of just proves how much they care about SpongeBob.
You're back
which
to
is like
work,
kind of
Simone.
weird to say, but like getting into those details for that means I think a lot to the fans who will be probably
take care
this.
out there, buddy.
Especially,
it's
I
crazy.
Also think it's very funny that
out there right
fight
now.
With his clarinet,
I think
but it also
that
makes sense. I am actually.
I've seen it, especially with America. A lot of places
kind
that
of
have
kills me, even
opened
though I
up
love him.
on
And
their
I think it's fine that he's fighting with his clarinet, and if it gets destroyed along the way, it's probably okay.
Of coronavirus and all of this.
Yeah, I think that's
be careful out there.
because the first instinct, just from gaming perspective, would maybe be to find the just coolest, most bombastic move. But then when you look at the series, there's so many little funny details, so many crazy details, and this kind of wackiness.
There is, honestly. I'm kind of impressed. This has a ton of details in it.
And so we basically then just realized it's just much funnier if you try to find something that people remember from a certain episode, and that just
I just need to see Plankton though.
Any other video game, you're not gonna see in any other game a little snail stomp on somebody with shiny leather shoes. That can only happen to you in the world of Bikini Bottom.
That is absolutely true, and I love it. So I heard you guys brought speedrunner Shift to play Rehydrated. What sort of feedback did you guys get from him from this?
Yeah, basically he was kind enough to fly over to Vienna, where the studio and also THQ Nordic, the publisher, are based. And just play the game actually at the stage it was back then with the developer and give his insights, since nobody, I think, on the planet has played more Battle for Bikini Bottom, and he just knows so many shortcuts, so many little design choices, so many little techniques how you can get around somewhere fast, or what way you could actually also kind of fool the game. And so all of these things basically went into it, and apart from that, obviously he just knows a lot about camera movement, animation, of just what, since as a speedrunner you know anything that kind of trips you up is a pain in the bikini bottom. So those were basically the things that he, I think, was able to contribute a lot. And apart from that, we just love watching his videos and seeing all the of him and the other guys, of all the speedrunners out there and the fans, to just see what they are excited about and whether we are concentrating on the right things, or whether we were concentrating on the right things.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much, Martin. We look forward to seeing so much more SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated here soon.
We have to take a quick break, but stay tuned for an inside look at the new game, New Worlds, New Mode, War Mode. It's all new. We'll take an even closer look at Amazon's New World later on. Plus, we'll get our hands on SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated with an exclusive Let's Play. So if you like what you just saw, there's more where that came from. It is a complete remaster of a beloved 3D platformer, and I, for one, can't wait.
It's playable and cute and all
The ad
that.
break is a great time to donate to the Bail Project or COVID-19 Response Fund, which you can do at donate.ign.com or by following the links in the video description. By donating, you'll have a chance to win codes for games like Resident Evil 3 or swag from companies like Bethesda. Donors who give more than $50 will have a chance to win a custom Summer of Gaming Xbox One X.
Simone.
And don't forget to follow IGN on TikTok. You can search IGN Summer of Gaming hashtag for
that was the Unreal
and to upload
Unreal
your
5
own best
engine
gameplay
demo. I
moments.
love
That's
that
all we got for right now. We'll be
trailer.
right back.
I was losing my shit.
IGN Summer of Gaming is presented by The Last of Us Part 2, available June 19th, rated M for mature. By the Army National Guard, working in our communities throughout the COVID pandemic to deliver food, build hospitals, and more. Go to nationalguard.com/esports for more info. And by Fuser, who will be partying with us all summer long.
The next generation of video gaming is on the horizon, and IGN is here to bring you the latest PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X news and analysis in our new weekly show, Next Gen Console Watch 2020. We'll bring on the experts to discuss and analyze all the latest developments around these new consoles. From frame rates, services, features, peripherals, and even all the new tech jargon, Next Gen Console Watch 2020 will keep you up to speed on everything leading up to the next generation of gaming. Join us every Friday for a new episode.
Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite
I saw
franchises.
there's a trailer for
never before seen looks at movies.
it's a character from Overwatch. Her name's May.
And live streams.
There's a
IGN
trailer
brings you
for
all
it,
the
so
coverage
I
you
was
need,
like,
no
well,
matter where you are.
I don't know if it's an old
Whether
game
on
or a new
IGN.com,
game. I
the IGN
think it
app,
might be a
YouTube,
remaster or
Facebook,
something.
Or Snapchat, we've
That was
always
pretty
got you
cool.
could. IGN, the #1 source for all games.
Did you
and
see that
entertainment
guy?
fans
Oh my
worldwide.
gosh.
News, Games, and More is IGN's live news show every day of the week that covers all the day's news about games, movies, comics, and of course more. This is our daily live show that takes a rotating cast of IGN talent going over all the latest news of the day while taking live questions and comments from chat. We're live every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us on mixer.com/IGN, youtube.com/IGN, and twitch.tv/IGN. See you there.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're constantly updating our feeds to bring you the latest news, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, memes, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat.
Nope. I'm mind you, I do follow IGN on Twitter and I think Insta though, just to stay up with.
Welcome back to
the other bits
IGN's
of
Expo
news
number
that come out.
4.
And today it
You
was
already
really
do that?
useful
Oh, wait,
because there was some news
that's
about
not 4.
Kingdom
It's
Hearts.
fine. Where we're premiering the latest game trailers and getting you first looks at fresh new gameplay like New World. New World is a game designed to be played with other people, and War Mode allows for epic 50v50 action. So we sent in Mitchell Salzman and Nick Lamone to fight for opposite sides of a 50v50 match. And let us know what it's like on the front lines. Let's play New World War Mode with Nick and Mitchell.
Where's Mitchell? Oh, I killed Mitchell. I sniped him.
Burning oil.
Oh,
Here
what's
we go.
this?
Yeah. Oh no.
Where's the color? Is it just black and white?
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Mitchell Saltzman, joined by Nick Lamone.
How's it going, everyone?
And also Mike and David from Amazon Game Studios.
Afternoon, everyone.
What's up?
And today, we're going to be doing a Let's Play of the War Mode in New World, a game that's coming out rather soon, actually. So, Mike, Dave, why don't you give us a quick walkthrough of what this mode is?
Yeah, so War Mode is how we determine who owns a territory. So when one company owns a territory, another can declare war on it, and then they fight it out in a 30-minute battle.
Oh, there's the color.
As an attacker, your
wondering
goal
where
is
it
to
went.
first capture the 3 points around the fort. Once those are captured, then you breach the walls and then go in and try to capture the flag.
So as a defender, we don't like Dave and his team doing that. So what we're going to try to do is prevent them from taking those capture points by setting up our own siege weaponry, which we set up through town projects and various other things. But we
Damn,
wanna
this
keep
looks
those up,
cool.
and we
Oh
wanna
my
stop them
gosh.
at all costs from taking those points. 'Cause
Oh
if they
man,
take
I
those
wish I had
points,
more time
then
to
they'll be
play
able to batter
MMOs.
down our gates.
This looks like
and
an
then
MMO.
eventually try to take the fort itself.
All right,
Is
and
it?
Nick and I are going to be on separate teams. We're going to be coached by Mike and Dave. Dave is going to be on my team. Mike is going to be on Nick's team. And Nick, I like you a lot. I just want to say that.
Don't lie to me, Mitchell.
No, this is
No need
true.
to lie on camera.
This is true, Nick. I like you a lot. But
is
as much
going
as
on?
I like you, I like winning more. And I hope you're going to be okay with that. I hope we can still continue to be friends.
It's got a One Piece.
All right, so this time we're on the
poster in the
attacking
background.
side. So you'll see once the gates open, now our job is to try to capture all 3 points to unlock the doors. So
All right, I'm following
Look
you,
at that
Dave.
guy
So
doing a little
wherever
jig.
you go, I will go with unless, and this is a very, bolded unless. If I see Nick and his dumb little face,
I'm a tanky boy.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go and follow my heart.
So what we want to do is defend the control point. Now we want
Gotcha.
usually anti-infantry weapons. So basically we'll want to use like the repeaters. We'll use the cannons and ballistas against their siege weapons because that's what's going to do more of the structural damage.
Where are you at?
Let's see. I am at the very top of the structure. I see you. I'm dropping down. And so anytime we want to enter or exit a gate, when we're ready to
I
go,
know,
and
guys.
we unleash hell.
The struggle is real.
We'll press E to open.
Oh, I have to hit E. All right, I'm still following you.
I went to
following
open
you.
the gate and it took
Here we
like
go.
5 years. The hell?
all right, don't be distracted. We're going to the point.
All right.
So as we stay on the point, we'll start to capture.
Oh wow, there's a lot of them on top of B. We got to get in there.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
We're
No, I would
halfway
not be
there.
good at this game. I'd
Stay
just
on
keep dying.
point.
Definitely need our healers up front. Oh, we lost B.
All right, we got B. I'm going to tell the army to go for C now.
So that means they can go through our main
This is
gate,
the reason
right?
why I can't
Not
play
yet,
World
they
of
need to take more
Warcraft. I'd
control
keep
points.
killing
Alright,
everyone
head
and then
towards
everybody would be
C, I'll
like,
meet
it's
you there.
it's Rozu!
Oh god, I'm getting hit. Leave me
And I'll be
alone.
like, shit,
I'm gonna
don't
go to
hate
A
me.
since I don't see anyone there.
All right, I'm heading towards you. I only see a
Healing up.
small handful. There's still people fighting around that main control point. That's fine. It's fine. Let them do that.
Well, I keep missing my siphon on you. It's still
You're
helpful.
healing
It's still
lady.
helpful.
We're looking strong at C.
A's looking pretty clear as well. They're too quiet though. I don't like it.
All right. I'm gonna buy a couple Inferno traps and place them around
Oh,
here.
damn. Look at that
Okay,
Inferno
same. I'll
trap.
do that as well.
So this is basically like COD, right?
Yes.
You know when you play that,
going on
what
right
is it called? Domination?
Quarter of the
No,
way.
it's not domination.
Okay, I see them
It's
coming in
capture,
the A.
it's capture the flag. I don't know.
so you can't
Basically,
build
you
directly in
have
a circle, but
two
you can build
flags,
around it.
and two teams, and you have to like dominate the
Alright.
flags. You
Good
have to
melt.
basically go and
Their
capture
bowman's
the
down.
opposing team's
Can't block
flags
forever.
in Call of Duty. Like when you're playing online, this is.
I got you. Oh, run,
I used to get so
run.
happy
Nice.
whenever I was able
Oh,
to
my
like
gosh, yeah,
secure
you
a
stay
flag. I was like,
close.
yes,
One
Rosu!
more.
I did it! Man, I love Call of Duty.
Oh, they
I'm
got
not so
seized,
good
so
at it,
everyone
but
on
I
A.
do love
All right,
it.
good. We took that
One
down.
day I might stream
going to
some
A
Call
right
of
now.
If
Duty
you need an
online.
auto run, just hit equals.
But I think people would freak out anytime they hear like a girl's playing. They'll be like, oh my god, a girl! How can a girl be playing Call of Duty? Oh my god, look, she can't aim. And I'm like, oh my god, I know.
Focus on
Say
nice
something
shot.
different.
That one's almost dead. Ah, man. Missed. Oh, man, everyone's raining down over here. It's getting wild.
Leave me alone. Oh, backstabbers. It's Nick. Oh, Nick's killing me.
Guys, don't worry about being behind on a
I don't wanna
backlog
die
of
to
games. Like,
Drag
trust
him back
me,
over
everybody
towards
on the
A. Drag him back
planet
over
that's a
towards A.
gamer has a
Come on,
backlog of
Nick.
games, and generally they're all
Full
fucking
life. You
huge.
got nothing.
Like,
Ooh.
there's too many games to be playing. There are so
wrecked
many
right now.
amazing
Okay, I'm
ones,
retreating.
but
Oh, he's running.
I am
you're running. Where you
dropping
running from?
everything
Going
this
back.
week to
Oh,
play
no,
Last of Us 2,
that's
no matter
closer.
what. I still
Oh,
haven't
he's
figured out
down.
where I'm
Where'd he
going
go?
to stream it, but I'm
That was
doing
Right
it.
here.
I just need to figure out where.
Oh, I just got a message. Killed Advent Nick.
I got taken out. All right, David.
Can you
I'm
guys
taking
hear
this
the game
seriously now.
audio, or is my
Mitchell
audio
couldn't do
too
it, it's
loud?
fine.
Well, it was worth it in the end, but I think I'm going down right here. I gotta run. Ow. Oh, I'll take it.
David V got the last poke in.
Oh,
Oh
Dave.
my
I'll
gosh.
remember that.
Oh no, I'm
Wow,
down.
the map
Oh, no.
looks huge.
All right, David V, I'm coming for you. This is what you get. There you go.
Oh, he's
there
dead.
you go. How do you like that, huh?
Oh,
Oh no. killed by
Awesome,
Advent
Simone.
Nick.
I'm not sure if I'll be streaming here
Alright,
or on
back in.
Twitch, but
get that.
if you have
back
Twitch, if I'm streaming
line.
there,
Oh, I see Nick.
then I would love to see you there.
Here.
All right, up in the right corner of your screen, you'll see how many battle tokens you have. If you need to,
132.
go ahead and buy some either Chase Elixir, which is really good, or I'm sorry, Cleansing Elixir, just in case you get slowed.
I'll try to hang back.
Drink the
Clear
elixir.
this guy out of
Become
here.
all powerful.
I can try to put some siege damage on him.
Oh, shoot.
All right,
Oh
I'm gonna try
my
to,
gosh.
I'm very close.
All right, fade down.
Good. I need 4 more tokens to get another siege barrel. Once you get a barrel, see if you can get up close by those weapons up top.
Gotcha.
We need to take
yeah,
those out.
We just shoot these.
I think we've
powder
seen
kegs.
enough of this game now.
Yeah,
like
once
we
they're
can
right
move
there, you
on.
can either shoot them
Thanks,
or,
guys.
or
This is cool.
ignite them,
Let's
like
keep
walking
going.
up to and interacting with B, and then it'll set down a timer. If you shoot them, it's like instantaneous.
The game is too
He's
loud.
lit.
Really?
There you go.
I had a little comment today
Do you think
on
I should be in the
YouTube,
thick
and
of
someone
it, or
was
should I be
like,
hanging back
"Turn
and
down your mic." I was like,
dropping
"Okay, I will adjust it."
fireballs?
And I was like,
Well, we need a mix.
"That's odd
You
because
can't
nobody else
capture
has
it
ever
unless
said
there's
that
people on it.
to me."
So,
So
if you lay down fire, I'll hop on the point.
All right, I'll try laying down some fire.
I might just create an account for this. Oh, Simone!
Oh boy!
Oh man,
boy,
that's so
a lot
cool of
fire.
you. Thank you.
Oh, I see him.
Oh, it's Nick. Go away. Come on.
Oh, he's retreating.
Leave me alone.
I'm gunning specifically for him right now.
I will be updating Instagram when I come to a decision of where I'm going to
Oh,
stream.
dang it.
Because I'm still stuck
I'm sorry,
between
Mitchell, I had to do it.
flipping Twitch and
Just like
YouTube.
Nick.
It's so,
Come
I mean,
come
it's
after
stressful to
someone
me. In
who's
my head, I'm
already-
like, which
I'm happy.
do I go for?
Mitchell's gone.
Sensitivity
How
is
much time do
maybe. Yeah, maybe.
14 minutes.
Yeah,
We're a bit
so
behind. We should
I will
be,
update Instagram.
working on the gates right now.
Hopefully I can come
Oh,
to a
man,
decision
A's
by
not
the end
looking
of
so good
today, but
now.
if not, maybe
We seem
tomorrow.
to
I
giving
don't
them an
know.
inch.
Time to breach.
All right, so let's start from C. I see you. I'm coming to you.
Yeah, help me get Simon War out of here.
All right, get to those supply generators.
Oh yeah, I gotta
audio.
get back inside.
Awesome,
Move on to the
Darian.
gate.
So now we just have to.
Where
put
is
damage on
everybody
the
from? So I know
Yep,
Simone,
put
you're
damage
from
on the gate,
Devon.
and once this
My
is
girl
clear,
in the
next time
UK,
around, I'll
yes,
bring
come
up a
through.
cannon and build one
Where are
that
you
helps
guys
take it down
from?
quicker.
Boss and Darian?
Back in. Supply generators. Got this. We got this.
And also with your tokens, buy some Inferno traps. Do I have any? Yes, I do. All right.
Good call.
So set up Inferno traps next to like the entrances.
Knock, knock,
With you.
knock.
They're all just trying. Oh my gosh, the side of our castle has so many inferno traps. I love it. I gotta add one more just for posterity.
Oh. Does this have ammo? Yeah. Burning oil. Here we go. Yeah.
Voted out. Outvoted?
Good shot.
What do you mean?
Oh, there's Mitchell.
Oh.
Oh, I killed Mitchell. I sniped him.
Oh, I see what you mean about the audio.
Oh.
Victory! Hey, well done.
You go rub that in Mitchell's face.
David, be honest with me. Where did we go wrong?
In
Lay it into
many
me.
different places.
Are you playing Marvel
what I'd like
Spider-Man
to
Miles
focus
Morales
on,
game?
though, is the number of times we
Darian,
killed that
if
vendor.
I can buy
That was a positive.
You know what?
Spider-Man,
That's fair. I
Horizon
think we
Forbidden
at least
West,
got him twice.
Abe's, no,
I know we got me at
Odyssey,
least once.
no,
Maybe
I'm
more.
like thinking
I'm not
of
gonna
Abe's
give him any more
Odyssey, but I'm also thinking of
All right,
Oddworld,
David,
Oddworld
we've changed a
Soulstorm,
couple things up. We got smoked
Kena
that
Bridge
first
of
round.
Spirits,
I've completely changed everything that I did last time. I'm going for a melee class this time.
probably
I
a
got
few
hammer,
more
I
of
got
the
a
indie
sword.
games, like maybe
We're on
Stray or
offense.
maybe like
what else do you
Little
think we
Devil
can
or whatever
do
it's called.
to try
I
and
will
shift the tide in our favor and at least
100%
tie it up?
buy them and play them, but
think
I don't
this
know
time we're
which
just
ones
gonna
I'm going to be
stand
able
on
to
that
afford
point,
right
and
now.
anyone that enters the
Because we
circle,
still don't know
we're
what
gonna
the
jump on
PlayStation
them
5 is
and put
priced
the full
at.
force
And
behind
guys, by the
go
way, if
into
you
my
follow me on
circle, I like
Instagram, I like legit share some of
yes,
the
thank you for the
craziest
reminder.
memes on there. Like anything anyone sends me and they're like, hey Rose, look at this is funny. Or if I see something funny just like bobbing about online, I will share it. And there was this hilarious meme about PlayStation 5 and like Xbox Series X or whatever they've called it. And it was like Xbox is like, so are you sharing your price? And PlayStation is like, no, not me. It's like this whole little conversation between the two. And they're like, okay, if you're not, then I'm not. And they're like, which I was like, this is legit what's actually happening. Like, both PlayStation and like Xbox are like, both of them are just like, you go first. And then PlayStation's like, no, you go first. And nobody's going first. And nobody's sharing the prices. So I'm just out here like, hello, I need to know how much money you're going to take from me.
Kanazia, why don't you come into my circle?
Why don't you
got
come
hits
into
out
my
there.
circle?
That
That was funny. Sounded kind of creeper. Like,
Oh, don't say
a little
all in on
creepy,
Steve's
man. A
general
little
chat.
creepy.
Trying to lead him. Got him.
And I'm back on point. A lot of red people coming in.
All right, I got Kanazia down.
All right. I'm going to go and get some anti-infantry weapon. So we can try to take C.
Alrighty.
Oh,
Going
come
back on
on. This gameplay has gone on for ages.
Oh, boy.
IGN,
Here it
man.
comes.
I see it. I know it now,
Oh,
what it's
nice.
about.
That
I'm
one.
good. Let's
Great.
move on,
Gonna
dude.
disperse.
Right?
Where's Nick? Where's he hiding?
I know. Why isn't he on the point?
I'm from Honolulu. Oh my
That's
gosh.
also-
Irish pride.
Awesome.
Reviving. I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, every time I try to get in on someone, I just get destroyed. I'm getting rocked right now.
That last one's always the toughest.
Oh yeah.
All right, we gotta get that repeater right here.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna sneak around to the right.
Going for it.
A lot of people
We
are
need to fight on
excited
the
about
circle.
this Kingdom Hearts news
Fighting.
that's been leaked online.
Man. I'm getting bullied.
Oh, is that Nick? Oh, I see Nick.
Oh no, Mitchell's got me. I can't let him kill me.
I'm
Oh,
kind of
go get him.
surprised though. I feel like
He's hiding in the fire.
Oh,
I just
no,
feel
Mitchell's
like
gonna
everything
get
that Square Enix does at
Oh,
this
he's
point
dead. I can
ends up
taste
getting
it.
leaked,
me. Anyone but him.
which is
Where are you going?
so sad.
Where are you
No.
going, Nick?
Oh no, he's got me. No.
I kind of
Yeah,
wish
I
that
can't
there
let
would be
that
some
happen.
news that Square Enix could just release on
He's
their own.
dancing on my body.
Yeah.
Okay, we could play that game.
All right. Oh God, I hope that didn't cost us the point.
We're losing it quick. Get back on.
I'm back. I'm back.
It was worth it.
It was worth it. It was absolutely
Guys,
worth
this
it.
gameplay has gone on
Get
forever
on, see, no one's here.
and
We're
ever.
starting to lose C. I may
Yeah.
pull back if I were you.
Oh, I see Mitchell. Oh,
Let's
he's
move
running.
this a little.
There you go.
Oh boy. That's it for me.
Fire everywhere.
Guys,
Hold
if
strong.
there was a game
Almost got
out of
it.
all of the
Almost got
games
it.
that you watched
Get
on
on
the
circle.
PS5 conference,
No, it's going down.
which game would you choose to
No.
get day one? Like, if you could
Alright, we're
choose
pushing
any
back.
of them to get day
Oh, we're
one,
so close.
which one would you choose?
Get off my point. All right, I was looking dicey for a second there, but I think we got it.
I think we're back.
Like day one,
I'm gonna
bundle
get-
with the
they're building two
console.
of these.
Which
I
game?
got one of them down dead.
Oh, I see Nick.
Oh, it was Nick. Oh, and he's dancing. He's dancing on my grave.
Wow, how long will this go
Hey,
on?
guys, stop that.
Not looking good for the home team here.
No, this is rough.
So what's like the good combo that you guys mentioned
Let me
earlier?
bring
It's like
up.
2 slashes, shield bash, and then while they're
Let me bring
stunned,
up
you can
another
use
tab
a
and
strong
see
attack and then cancel that
what
with something
else.
else.
Yeah, if you've got the spin swipe, sorry, the spin
little
stab,
thingy.
that's a great one to cancel the heavy into after the stun.
I'm cheering about Nick's death
So
here.
we are
Sorry.
currently watching.
There we go.
Wait, what
I
the
like
heck
that.
was this called?
Do you think
I
we
can't
should
even
retreat?
remember. Was it New World?
You know, I'm going to try using the turrets a little bit.
All right. Yeah.
Give them a chance. Feel bad for old Mike. and Nick.
Simone, that's not fair.
Oh, we did it.
It's a regular Christmas miracle.
You know what? I don't feel anything because it's just
Oh, I feel Mitchell. I sniped him.
karma as far as I'm concerned.
Trying to go from behind.
He's running. He's running. He's at a third health.
All right. Well, at this point, I'm gonna go hunting. Oh, I see Nick. Oh, I see him. He's all the way at the back. He's on
Resi
he's on a
8!
cannon.
Yes! Gran Turismo 7.
Get in the ground where you
Nice.
belong.
He's running. He's running.
Where you running?
I feel that.
And he's
Good
down.
hands.
I have to pick
perfect.
Resi 8 though out of the
Oh, how
two.
poetic
If I
that
had to pick
was.
one,
Well,
Resi
you
8.
win one, you lose one.
All right, guys. Well, that is War Mode in New World. Nick.
It
we
was
went
New
1-1,
World.
So, you know,
Okay,
I'm
finally,
glad
it's
at
over.
least, even if I didn't win, I'm
Thanks
glad
for the
that we
gameplay, guys.
went neck and neck in
On to
there.
the next one.
And
We
I
are
just
going to
to
have
say, you know, you
gameplay
did
from
great.
Scarlet
And
Nexus,
Mike,
which I
Dave,
cannot
thank you
wait
guys so
for.
much for being such excellent
it's going
coaches.
to be absolutely
And
amazing,
Nick, I am
so
sorry for
let's look
dancing
forward to
on
that.
your
You're so mean, Mitchell.
Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes, Simone! She's buying a PS4.
Now that you've seen what New World is all about, let's join Sid and one of the game's developers to find out more about this ambitious project from Amazon.
Comment came in late. I think it's probably
And now we
because
get to
I've
talk
set it
about
to normal
a brand new
latency.
game called
I think
New
it's
World,
normal
and
anyway,
here to talk
which
to me
basically
about it, we've got
no.
Mike
Is
Willett
it normal?
and Dave Verify.
Let's check.
Hi guys, welcome.
I have
Thanks,
it
Sydney.
at,
Great to be here
yes,
on the
normal
Summer
latency,
Gaming.
which basically kind
Yeah, I'm excited to have you
it's,
here. So let's just
prioritizes
start
the
at the
stream
top with-
quality.
For people who don't
means
know,
there might
what
be a
kind
little
of
bit of
game
lag.
is New World? What can players expect when they get their hands on this?
Yeah, New World is an open
They're
world
still
MMO
talking
set
about
in
New
the age of
World.
exploration
Stop!
In the 17th century.
You
on
guys
this
have
beautiful
milked
but
this.
dangerous island called Eterna. It's got this
Damn,
great
but that
blend
hammer
of directed
thing looks cool.
content
Look at
with
that.
quest chains
that
and
weapon.
deep story,
Shit,
as well
and
as
his
lots of
antlers,
opportunity
though.
for emergent gameplay with open world
Yes,
systems
antlers,
like the
dude.
territory control
Come through.
system, a player-driven economy, housing. And underneath that all is this really cool action-based combat system and deep progression that sort of keeps the moment-to-moment gameplay fun and engaging.
And so, how does New World set itself apart from other fantasy MMOs? I know you kind of started outlining some of the things, but
Guys, we
if you
need
want to
to
get a
see
little
a
bit
different
deeper, maybe
game.
into the combat aspect.
We've seen this.
Yeah, the action-based combat is a really cool element of the game. It's a system where skill
Guessing
really
Mar-
matters.
Marvel Spider-Man
Positioning and
Morales.
timing is super
Miles
important to the
Morales.
combat.
Day one.
It's a physical-based
Awesome.
combat system, so your swings actually have to connect with an enemy to register a hit. There's also a lot of defensive options, so it creates this really sort of cool dance between the attacker and the defender, where there's momentum during the battle, and it's a really sort of strategic system also, where your gear choices, how you sort of specialize your combat abilities, all makes a big difference in how combat plays out.
Now, how did you determine which typical MMO conventions to keep and what you and your team wanted to innovate on?
Yeah, I think, MMO players have certain expectations. I think a big part of the game that everyone likes is the sort of progression systems, leveling up your character, seeing that advancement of your character, both in terms of their abilities and their
I
gear
think
and all
that's for
that.
every game though.
So those are
Leveling up
parts
your
that we really
character is
wanted to
cool,
keep.
right?
We also like the sort of the stories that MMOs
In
tell,
literally
and
every
New World
game,
I think
even in
has
just like
some
an
great story
FPS.
and quests behind it that
You know, you
that
still
Mike
level
and
up
his
your
team have worked
weapons.
on a
There's
lot.
some
You can
sort
dig
of
into
element
those.
of leveling up in
So
every
those we
single
really
game.
wanted to keep, but on top
There
of it, we
isn't,
really
then what are
wanted
you
to add
fighting for? Like,
a
what are
little
you,
more open world
what are you playing for?
elements
Everything
and
remains the
opportunities
same.
for players to create their own stories in the game. That's where things like the territory control system, where players can take over one of the
I think
11
maybe he's
territories
right
in the
though, in the
game,
sense that there's
and
probably a
sort
little
of
bit
own
more
that
of it in
territory. They can
MMOs
set their
because you
own
have
tax rates.
weapon
They sort of
upgrades,
act
you
as
have
governor of
probably
the
armor
territory, and that
upgrades, then you
creates
have
really cool
abilities,
storylines where
and there's
different
a
people
ton.
want
Like
to
there's
overthrow
when it comes
governors
to
that they
leveling
don't
up,
like.
there's layers of
And the
leveling up
battles and wars
in
that
an
come out of it
MMO
are really
compared to a
that's what we're
normal,
seeing in
like,
the
you
B-roll
know,
here right
game,
now are some of the epic
perhaps.
moments in the game. These large scale battles, they're 50 on 50 battles where one team is trying to siege the fort while the other team is trying to push them back and hold off in defense.
This looks like a decent
Yeah,
game
I'm
though.
so
If I
glad you
was an
referenced this
online
B-roll
gamer, I would
because
for
what
sure
we're
play it,
watching
but
is War Mode.
I'm not.
Correct? Can you
So,
maybe
you
tell us
know,
more about
I'm not an
what
MMO
exactly
player.
War Mode is?
Yeah, so war mode is how we determine who controls the territories
Guys,
in
you know
New
what?
World. So,
I don't know if any of you have seen
as
The Last of
a
Us 2
territory
trailer,
is
but there's a
when
song
a
that
territory
Ellie
is in a
sings
neutral
in the
position,
trailer,
you
and I
start
have it
something
stuck
called
in
an
my head.
influence
Like,
race.
I just keep
What
singing
that
it all
means is
day.
there's 3 factions in the game.
I was
And
like
one
in
of
my
the
swimming pool
factions
yesterday,
that
like just
doesn't own the
floating around
territory
and
can try
singing
to
this song. I
put
was like,
the territory in a conflicted state by doing
I was like,
these
what the
PvP
hell
missions. So it's
has
basically
my
a race
life
between
come
the
to?
2
I'm
factions
legit
that
just
don't own the
singing
territory
like
to
this
see who
song
gets the right
that I
to
don't
declare
even know all
war
the
on
lyrics
that
to, and I was
faction.
just humming it and then
when that
singing the only
happens,
lyrics that I know, which is like 2
once the territory
sentences.
goes into a contested state, then we see the war that actually is happening here. And this is a 30-minute war where it's a 50 on 50 experience. And there's sort of 3 general phases to it. The attacker's
That ad is
end goal is
creepy.
to
I
take
know
down the
it's
claim
definitely
and,
like
basically lay
it's
siege to the
intense.
fort. But before
It's
they do that,
super
they
intense,
first have to
and the
control these
clickers,
3 control points
like
that
the
are spread
clickers.
throughout
Oh
the
my
territory.
god! In the game, like
Once
when I
they
played The
control
Last of
all
Us, I
3,
was freaked out
then
every
the
single
attackers
time I
can try
came
to
across
break
the
down the
clicker.
gates.
Because it
And
doesn't
then the
matter how
last
many
step after
times
they've
you
broken
see
down the
them,
gates is sort of
every
spilling
time you
into the
hear
fort
them, it's
itself
just
and
really
trying
creepy.
to
And then when they
take
run at
control
you,
of
it's like,
the
nope,
central
nope, nope,
claim
fuck that
flag
shit.
in the fort.
Nope.
And
So
while all this is happening, the
yeah,
defenders are
they're
trying to
just
stop
creepy.
them from doing this.
But that
What's
that
cool
trailer
about
is
this is you'll
intense.
see
I
right there
love
on the
Ellie
screen
though.
one of
I
these
love the
siege
fact that she's
weapons,
all
right? So
grown
it's
up.
a really cool
There's
blend
gonna be
of
so
people on
much going
foot
on in this
using
game.
melee weapons, using guns, using magic, and then these huge siege weapons trying to control space and the flow of battle also.
Yeah, man, that definitely looks like quite the weapon. I don't know that I would want to see that outside of my territory. So what kind of weapon? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, what you're seeing here is someone trying to take down the weaponry. So what these siege weapons become almost sort of like mini objectives on the battlefield where the attackers can choose where to place them. So it's
Wow,
sort of
I
fun
can't
to find
believe that
hidden
they're giving
places or
so
places where
much
you've got
time to
really
this
good
game.
sightline.
Like
And
we
then
have
the
literally
defenders
seen and heard everything
have to
about
sort
it.
of come out and try to take them down before they do a lot of damage. So it's this cool sort of objectives and that people can put and trying to find them in a cat and mouse game around it is a lot of fun.
I've only played about
Now,
20
are there
minutes of The Last of Us.
certain war
Well,
weapons
if you
or
don't want to
war
play it and you
specific
want to
weapons
like
for the
check out
defense
the
side
storyline, just watch
or
my
the defending
gameplay trailer
faction?
videos because I'm literally touching on the main
Absolutely.
parts
So
of the
the
story
defenders
in
on
those
top of the
trailers.
fort, in the bastions, you'll see
And
they have a
I end up
variety of
shouting
siege
and
weapons. And
screaming
some of
and
the
getting
cooler ones
scared a
that
lot
only the
because
defenders have
horror
is this
games,
huge horn.
not
And
really
when
my
it rings,
thing,
it provides a
but I'm
buff to
obsessed
everyone
with
on
them
the
anyway.
defending team that makes them heal and makes them stronger. And it just creates this sort of cool visual when you hear the horn, everyone charges. It's sort of a really cool moment in war. They also have vats of hot oil that they can drop
Entirely
down,
up to you
flaming
though,
oil
like
on the battlefield right under the doors. So those
if
can be
you
effective.
it's just
in
entirely
combat
up to
also.
you, like if you
Those
don't want to
definitely sound
play
very
the game or
effective.
you don't have time to play the game and you just want to know the storyline
You
for
were
part
talking
2,
about the steps
check
for
out the
preparing
gameplay
for
trailers.
war
I think I'm
and
gonna probably get the
how,
last
there's
two.
kind of
I think I still
missions
have like two
or quests that
on my
maybe
gameplay
you need
trailers.
to do in order to
As
activate
long
or
as you
start
swear,
the
I'm a
war.
happy
Can
bunny.
you kind of take us through that?
Simone,
Absolutely.
you
So
are
there's
such a
two
G.
main
I'm
elements.
like,
As the
I'm
defender,
to be
one of the
honest,
things you
I
want to do
had
is
like one
upgrade
person on
and build
Twitter
your
like
fort.
at me and
So as you
just
own a territory and are
randomly
trying to
rant
protect it, you
about
can do what we
random
call
shit. It
town
was clearly
projects,
someone who didn't like the
which
PS5,
are
and he was like,
basically
by the
projects that the
way,
governor
like,
starts, and then anyone in the territory
excuse
can
your
contribute
language or
to the
something
progress
about my
of that.
language, and I was like, dude,
And various
fucking
projects
hell,
will
like
upgrade
every
the
single
strength of
fucking
your
streamer
walls,
swears.
will
Like,
upgrade the strength of
seriously?
your defenses. So
So
governors can sort of choose
there are
which
two types of
elements
people in the
defense
world.
they want to work on first,
I know,
and then it
boss.
brings
They're
together the
still
whole
talking about
territory
this
to
game.
try to
84
upgrade
years
the
later,
town
we're gonna
and
be
get
that
ready
like
for
that
war.
lady in Titanic.
So that's what the
Just like,
defenders
fuck.
are doing. And then, as I said,
Still
for
there.
the offensive side,
Still
it's sort
waiting
of a
for this
race
game to
between
be
the two
over.
factions to determine who gets the opportunity to go to war, because everyone wants these territories. They're highly sought after.
But
They're
yeah,
limited in
Simone,
number,
when I'm
and if
scared
they're
and
popular,
I'm playing a horror
and
game,
well
I
run, you can
just
make a lot of money from them.
I swear a lot.
So the opposing factions
sorry,
both
guys.
want to take these territories, and the influence race basically is a race where both factions are doing missions. These are PvP missions, so you have to.
Oh
flag
my
for,
gosh,
for PvP,
dude!
which
Stop
puts you at
talking
additional
about this
risk when
game
you're doing
though.
them.
What the hell?
And when you're flagged, you have to run these missions, and basically the side that runs the missions most efficiently and
Right,
gets
let's
the most
check out
done
what's going on
wins the race, and then
on
has the
Instagram.
opportunity to declare war.
Wow. Well, Mike, now we've talked a lot about PvP. Can you tell us a little bit about the PvE elements of New World?
Sure. As Dave said, as we've been developing thing, we do have lots of quests and missions that like take you out to explore elements of the world. But then we have lots of POIs that represent the different families that live on this mysterious island. So the main groups that we have are the corrupted, which are the.
Do you know what?
Kind of like
I haven't. I think I've seen like little bits of gameplay from what I remember as a kid. The same with Silent Hill, but anytime I tried to watch too much of it, my brother was like, "This is not for you, little ones."
There's another faction known as the Lost.
He would like
another one
like
known
move
as the
me
Angry
away
Earth.
and be like, "Go and play with
and
your
all of
little
these
random
factions
dolls and
are these
shit." 'Cause
families
he wasn't letting me
like
watch
coexist
all
in
those
this
games when I
island,
was a kid.
and you
So
kind of, like,
I haven't played
find
the original.
lore and tidbits and go
But
on
I have
missions
seen
and quests,
bits and
and then
bobs
just
of the
explore the
original.
environment and
I would
different,
love to play through all of
POIs.
them though, like maybe do
what's
like
really
a
going on here.
continuous.
And some of them are
consecutive
dynamic
stream of
events.
games,
We have
and just
corrupted
all of them from,
breaches,
like, 1 through to
and I don't know
8.
if Dave
That
alluded
would
to
be
it
cool.
earlier, but we have something called invasions, where forces actually come to assault your fort and try to take down your civilization.
Jeez. Well, this is definitely not for the faint of heart. But thank you so much for walking us through that. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have. But I love learning about all the nuances of War Mode. Now, when can people get their hands on this?
I really like this lady. I'm glad that they've got a
25th,
female
2020.
here.
But if you want to get an early hands-on preview, if you pre-order now, you can join our closed beta
It's
on
always
July
good
23rd.
to see girls in games.
Well, there you go. People don't have to wait
in the gaming
too
industry.
long. It's coming up soon. Yes.
That's right, not too
but
long.
Not too long. Thank you both so much for coming by. And if you want to watch more of that 50v50 War Mode Let's Play, we'll have
Is
that
that
up on
one of the
IGN.com. So make
games
sure
in the
you check that
installment
out.
of games?
And
Resi games?
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Which platform
you.
did it come out on? Yes, guys! Finally! The next game. Gosh. Okay, wait. Let me adjust myself.
We've got to take another quick break, but stay tuned. We're just shy of learning all about Celesta, Crown of the
my
Magister,
laptop and
a
the
Dungeons
laptop's
and
moving
Dragons
me, so
inspired
it's swinging
tactical
me around
RPG.
in my-
And later, we're popping the
in
hood on the
my
Xbox
chair.
Series X to see how smart delivery works.
Ridiculous.
And an ad break is a great time to
What
donate
is
to
the
the Fail
next
Project
game, guys?
or COVID-19 Response Fund, which you can do at donate.ign.com or by following the links
Can you
in the
give me a
video
follow back
description.
on IG?
By donating, you'll have a
Boss,
chance to win
I'm
codes
not gonna
for
lie,
games like Resident
like,
Evil 3
I
or
only
Slash
ever
from
follow
companies like
things
Bethesda,
that I
and donors
legit,
who give more than $50
like, I'm
will have a
getting
chance
news
to win a
from,
custom
or
Summer
someone I
of
know,
Gaming
or,
Xbox
like,
One X.
I just don't give
IGN
random
Summer of
follows,
Gaming
so I'm sorry,
continues
buddy.
right after this.
Yes, it was on Dreamcast. Oh
IGN
my
Summer
gosh,
Gaming is
Dreamcast!
presented
That
by
takes
The
me
Last of Us
back.
Part 2.
Oh my
Available
gosh.
June 19th, rated M for
I
mature.
played
By the
Shenmue
Army
on
National
Dreamcast.
Guard, working in our
Cannot
communities
forget
throughout
it.
the COVID pandemic
I was
to
like
deliver food,
blown away
build
by it as a
hospitals,
kid.
and more. Go to nationalguard.com/esports.
And the Dreamcast controller though, guys, wasn't it like the biggest thing on the planet? Like I remember like not being able to properly hold it as a kid.
News, games, and more is IGN's live news show every day of the week that covers all the day's news about games, movies, comics, and of course more. This is our daily live show that takes a rotating cast of IGN talent going over all the latest news of the day while taking live questions and comments from chat. We're live every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us on mixer.com/IGN, youtube.com/IGN, and twitch.tv/IGN.
Darian,
See you there.
not me, buddy.
The next generation of video gaming
Definitely
is on
not
the
me.
horizon, and IGN is here to bring you the latest PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X news and analysis in our new weekly show, Next Gen Console Watch 2020. We'll bring on the experts to discuss
Okay,
and
now
analyze
the
all
next
latest
trailer,
developments
please.
around
Come
these
on,
new
let's keep
consoles.
this
From
going.
frame rates, services, features, peripherals, and even all the new tech jargon, Next Gen Console Watch 2020 will keep you up to speed on everything leading up to the next generation of gaming. Join us every Friday for a new episode.
It was a big controller, but not as big as the Xbox.
Not only
Xbox
is IGN
Duke
the world's
controller,
biggest
that
media
was
brand for
massive.
games and entertainment, but we also have a
Duke
team of some of the
controller?
world's
Was it a
biggest
special
fans
type of
your
Xbox
favorite
controller?
franchises. From breaking
Because if you
news
just
and
mean the
exclusives,
regular
never
Xbox
before seen
controller,
looks
I
at
agree.
movies and
It was
games,
huge and it was
reviews,
like big for
Let's
my
Plays,
hands
and live
too.
streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're constantly updating our feeds to bring you the latest news, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, memes.
Oh my gosh, the
a lot more.
Spider-Man meme
Be
though.
part of the conversation
So
throughout
random.
the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook,
What's going on
TikTok,
in
and
Discord?
Snapchat. Welcome back to IGN Summer of Gaming and IGN Expo number 4. In a little while, Tom Marks will introduce us to Dead Static Drive, an atmospheric road trip across America set 1 month before the apocalypse. But first, Celesta Crown of the Magister is a tactical combat RPG that draws heavy from Dungeons and Dragons. David had a chance to chat with one of the developers. Let's go check it out.
If you Google Duke controller, you will see. Let's check it out.
I'm Damon Hatfield, and I'm joined by Matthew Gerard. He's CEO and creative
Oh my
director at
gosh!
Tactical Adventures. And we're
This
here
is
to
a
talk
beast
about
of a
and look at
controller.
Celesta Crown of the
What on
Magister.
earth?
Matthew, thank you so much for joining us.
This is ridiculous.
Thank you for having
this
me.
is not
Actually,
a
I would have
controller.
loved
This
to meet
is
you at
like
E3, but
a
well, we have to
behemoth.
now to the new time. So
Fucking outrageous.
let's adjust and do something great with you today.
Of course, that sounds amazing. Celesta is a classic tabletop RPG in video game form. Is that accurate?
I think it's pretty accurate, actually. We define ourselves as a tactical RPG, and I've been a huge fan of tabletop gaming for 30 years. My vision was really to recreate this feeling of tabletop in video games, in something very faithful to the rules of tabletop gaming. So what we see behind is the footage of the game, which we're going to release as a demo for the Steam Festival. And what's really interesting about the game is that we use the D&D 5th edition rule sets. We have a license from Wizard of the Coast. And the game is very accurate to the rule set. And people who are fans of D&D will find themselves right at home with this game, because you will find all the classical races, classes, backgrounds, powers, features that you're used to. But also, the game has its own universe called Celesta. And so we added our own races, classes, and special.
Very similar to the previous
people
game
that
in
are familiar
terms
with
of,
Dungeons and Dragons
setting
should feel very
and
familiar to them.
feel.
But what about people who haven't played D&D?
Well, I would say that the 5th edition is a very good balance between simplicity and customization options. So it's not the most complex of editions. And also we have lots of tutorials and introduction sequences. And again, also the interface is really streamlined so that it's easy, natural, and fun to use.
So here I think we're seeing, we're rolling a character.
Yes, absolutely. You have the different stages of the character, race, class, lots of options. For the background, you can also customize your personality. That is at the bottom left, you can see the personality flags, which will define how the character reacts during the cutscenes. And also what is really interesting in the game is that you play a team of 4 characters, not just one, plus henchmen. So you're going to create a full party of 4 characters with complementary skills, powers, abilities. So it's really, you're going to take advantage of all the rules at the same time when building a party.
So you create your characters, create your party, but what's the sort of overall story that you're telling here?
So the story is it's a story. It's an epic story of saving the world in Solasta. So Solasta is an ancient universe. In this world, the kingdom of the elves was destroyed by a cataclysm shortly after the humans came from another world, another dimension. And somehow, after this cataclysm, the world reconstructed. But there's some pretty bad stuff going on in the area called the Badlands. And the main goal of the player in the campaign will be to find out what's happening, which ancient evil is appearing. And so his party of 4 characters is going to meet different NPCs, monsters, dangers, strange fortresses, all of that, exploring the world of Solasta. And actually, it's one of the goals of this game is to discover the lore and the specificity of Solasta.
So I think we're seeing some combat here, and I think you've put a lot of work into making dynamic environments and also vertical environments for combat. Is that right?
Yes, because I'm a big fan of D&D rule sets, and I think sometimes it was overlooked the fact
I'd
of
have the patience
having
for
the
this
ability
kind of
to
game,
use
unfortunately,
light
but
sources or darkness spells,
it actually
and also
looks really
sometimes
cool.
flying around, levitating. So we've put a huge
again,
effort
I played
in
Divinity, and it has
simulating
the same
a
sort
cubic
of
world made of cubes like Minecraft
concept,
somehow,
you know, moving
which
from
allows us to have
its
all these
tactical type of game,
different
moving from block to
motion
block type of
mode
thing.
and also lighting simulation,
limited,
depriving the enemy
restricted
of his senses. Even some
movements
enemies are
and,
afraid of light
you know,
and can
attacks,
be used as a
etc.
weapon. So really,
So
the
you have to
environment
really be
it's
tactical
it's
about
useful. You
it.
can shove
So
enemies
I don't know. Then again, that
from a
said,
platform.
maybe
You can knock them
I do
down.
have
You
the
have
patience for
lots
this
of
kind
options,
of game.
and it's not only using a longsword or firing a fireball. It's really a very deep turn-based,
Oh my
cell-based game that
gosh.
we built.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that you can sort of knock enemies around the environment. Certain parts of the environment can be destroyed. So it seems like you're going to have a lot of options, different ways to approach combat.
And you have
scenarios.
interactions. When you cast a burning hand spell, you're going to light torches, or you can have stuff which explodes, etc. So there's a lot of interaction between you, monsters, objects in the game, in exploration as well as in combat as well.
So the 4 characters that you create at the beginning of the game, are they in your party the entire time? So it's not a situation where as you travel around, you're meeting new people who are joining your party?
No, it's your party. So again, I want to reconvey the feeling of tabletop where you have this party of 4 characters interact together, doing the full adventure together.
Very dark, this game.
So if one of them
I don't know if
dies,
it's
obviously you'll have to
the
find a
kind
way
of
to revive
area that
him
they're
or
in,
her.
the building or the
And
cave or wherever
lots of
they are right
options to
now.
do that, but you cannot
it's got a
change the
very
character
dark feel.
because it's his or her adventure, and he has to stay with the team the full game.
Sure. So as you were mentioning,
man.
Wizards of the Coast
they
granted
dropped.
you the license to use the D&D 5.1 rule set. Is that unusual I guess I can't think of a lot of other examples of video games that are using the official rule set.
Actually, I don't
guys
know.
ever played this
To
type
my
of game
knowledge,
before?
we're the only one, but I'm not sure about that. So it's a great opportunity because the SRD, the System Reference Document, it's a
that
huge
was
PDF
cool.
file of 400 pages with all the classes, spells, races,
Now I
magical
get
items,
why it's
monster.
so
It's
dark.
huge. Of
You're
course, you
going
don't have
around
the
lighting up
copyright
these little
content like the universes or
fires.
the heroes, but it's still a huge content.
Yeah.
And
So what
very
are we seeing
familiar to
here?
what people are used to. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Are we seeing some sort of exploration here?
Yes, so exploration is real time in the game. So you will have your allotment of traps, magical puzzles, hidden dangers, etc. You have some looting. You can detect magic on objects, identify them. All of what you would expect in full-fledged RPG game. Each character has its own advantages. So when you're going to inspect a strange totem or statue, the one with the highest history score is going to do the check. When you want to disarm a trap, the rogue obviously is going to be more effective. But what is really interesting in the game is that you are completely free to create the party you want. And it's actually a treat for us because if the player wants to make 4 halfling fighters for the whole game, he can. It's not the best thing he or she could do, but it's a possibility. So again, the game is reacting during the cutscenes, during the combat, etc., during the exploration to whatever the party has selected to have in his party. So it's a big challenge, but actually the benefits is that when you play the game, you will have different dialogue lines or interactions with your party.
And it looks like those dynamic environments that we see in combat also apply to the exploration, where they push a rock off a ledge, created a new pathway for them, right?
Yeah, that's
yes,
true.
and you can see on the screen spiders crawling on the walls. So obviously this is about for the monsters, but when you find some high-level spells like spider climb, you can do that yourself.
Spiders.
It's very cool. And it's been a nightmare, of course, for the engineers to program all the mathematics to do that. But it's super fun. And if you hit someone, it's going to fall from the wall. So there's lots of interactions and fun stuff going on because we went, I don't know, maybe like 95% in implementing the rules. Not because we're fanatics, but just because it makes a more fun game.
So the demo will be available via the Steam Festival.
Yes.
And so what does the demo include?
So the demo includes the new character creator. So with all the options to create a level 1 character. So you can play around and create all the crazy characters you want. There's several option methods to do that. So I hope it's going to appeal to all the fans.
I have no idea.
And on top of that, we also are
because I did like Joel in The Last of Us.
Demo, which we proposed
but I have no idea, Darian.
Except
I think he might still
new gameplay,
be playable,
new game mechanics
but I think that
and
this
art
story
and
is going
stuff.
to be
So
mostly centered
almost
around
another
Ellie
game, and
her
people can
growth
show
as a
our progress
character
and see
just as a person.
what the game can offer. So we have both the character
and maybe
creator
even just
and,
her
again,
coming to
1 hour of
realize,
gameplay,
everything
to
that's going on around her, and
very cool.
she
Well, I
might
can't wait to check out the demo.
More,
Thank you so much, Matthew. Celeste, Crown of the Magister looks very cool, and we look forward to learning more in the
about
future.
what's happened without giving away too much. Like, I don't want to give anybody any spoilers
Imagine
about the
the
game,
wonders that
but
await
she'll
us
probably
inside.
just be discovering a whole lot more in this part 2 of Last of Us. So I'm hoping that we will get to see and play as Joel a little bit. So
Welcome
I'm
back to
guessing
check out this game on IGN
because we
Summer
did
of
see him
Gaming,
in the
highlighting
trailers,
exciting
right?
under-the-radar games worth your attention. This next one is called Dead Static Drive, a survival adventure game about driving, scavenging, and fighting your way through a world full of nightmarish monsters. Here's some exclusive new gameplay.
Oh yes, we saw this the other day. It's like a survival horror, like post-apocalyptic kind of world game, where you kind of make friends as you go along in the game, and they're kind of crucial to your survival. Do you know what I mean? So. Not my kind of game though, but I remember seeing it, and I remember like watching this trailer yesterday. What are those weird things with antlers on their head? Why is the person walking like that? I can understand that they're trying to be careful, but seriously. Oh my god. Look how cautious this character is being. Ruby. Reminds me of Ace Ventura.
You just watched an interview on Solasta, Crown of the Magister, and then Tom told us all about Dead Static Drive. Later on, we've got Destroy All Humans gameplay and an exclusive week-early hands-on with SpongeBob SquarePants, Battle for Bikini Bottom, Rehydrated. Very long title. Another speedrun charity drive with the original SpongeBob game.
There are going
Tony
to
Hawk,
be,
the actual skater,
there
and
is
much,
going
much
to be
more.
a trailer
Right now,
of
Miranda Sanchez
Scarlet
is going to tell us
Nexus,
all about
which I'm really
Scarlet
looking forward
Nexus,
to.
along
Yes!
with one of the game's developers.
Finally!
So hold on
Scarlet
to your brains,
Nexus!
because the others are coming. And here's Miranda to explain whatever that means.
Here to talk about Scarlet Nexus with me is game director Kenji Anabuki, producer Keita Izuka, and translator Yuji Moria. Thank you guys so much for joining me.
Hey, how's it going? はい、今日はインタビューよろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
Thank you guys for so much. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a super exciting property. Next Gen is on the front of everyone's mind, especially mine. Like, we are so excited. And we're so excited to see more of Scarlet Nexus. So first things, let's get it off with, what were the most exciting things to develop with Scarlet Nexus with Next Gen power in mind? Whether it were gameplay or features or just the graphics, what was the most exciting thing when you're ever developing Scarlet Nexus?
Very cool.
スカーレット・ネクサス、みんな楽しみにしてて、次世代コンソールも出る中でみんな、注目の作品なんですけれども、今回そのスカーレット・ネクサスの、開発において、次世代コンソールに向けた開発になったと思うんですけど、その過程の中でなんか一番エキサイティングだったこととか一番楽しかったこと、その次世代コンソールに向けた開発の中で何が一番楽しかったでしょうかっていう質問です。
Oh, cool. So you can explore the city.
はい、そうですね。今回この新規タイトルとして
Exactly. The detail is incredible, right? So this is what I was saying about these hybrid monsters.
次のハード、世代のハードに合わせてやっぱり展開していけるっていうのは、非常にやっぱり我々としても、楽しみでありました。今まさにその、開発中ではいますけれども、やっぱりそのハードの性能を生かした形でより良いこの、RPG としての体験を提供していけるんじゃないかなと思っています。
Yeah, so we're very, very excited
to be
developing for this new, hardware, new specs and everything. And yeah, I think we'll be able to bring a new sort of experience of RPGs with this new console and hardware.
Definitely. It's like a hybrid of like monsters.
What are some of the most exciting features that you think will elevate RPGs with this new hardware?
具体的になんかどういった、フィーチャーとか見どころがありますでしょうか。この新しい、ハードがあるからこその、なんか表現というか体験っていうのはどこにあるんでしょうか。
やっぱりその、今回その、グラフィックの面でもですね、このアニメスタイルでありながら公開で作っていってますので、このキャラクター表現ですとか、あとはもう単純にやはり場面の移り変わりっていうのをシームレスに体験していただけるんじゃないかなと思いますので、そういったところで、この RPG としてのストーリーへの没入感ですね、そういったところが非常に強化されてくるんじゃないかなと思います。
Yeah, so I think definitely the enhanced graphics will be something that will enhance the experience of the RPG, especially with this particular game. It has that sort of anime style artwork to it, so it'll be really interesting to see how that will play out in the new hardware. We also are looking forward to a lot of the seamless changes between scenes and cutscenes, and we're also looking forward to just the more the intensity and what's the word I'm looking for? Like, what's the word? I'm sorry. Yeah, I forget. But yeah, it's the experience will be more,
think of the word.
Realistic and more deep.
To be honest, though, I don't like.
So Scarlet
I
Nexus will
understand
be
where he's
available
coming
for
from.
the current
Sometimes in
generation
different
of consoles
languages,
for the Xbox
there
One and
isn't
PS4,
the same word. Do you know
but
what
also
I mean?
for next gen.
In
So will
another
those
language.
versions differ in any sort of way, or any sort of significant way, I guess?
今回その現コンソール、PS4 と PS5 両方ともリリースということなんですけれども、そこの両方の違いというところはどういうところに来るんでしょうか。
そうですね。基本的にはやはり皆さんこの、ハードによらず、
I like how these things are
体験してい
frightening,
ただき
but
たいところ
like
はわけです。
flowery
ただやっぱ
and
りその中でこの次世代
like
に
almost
向けた
beautiful at
ま
the
た
same time because
そ
they're
れぞ
so
れ
flowery. It's like
新しいサー
wow.
ビスとかも始まってくるかなと思いますので、それに合わせた形で、最適な形で楽しんでいただけるというところを目指して作っていってます。
Oh, sorry. The word I forgot in the previous bit was immersion. Sorry about that. Immersiveness. Yeah. So basically, for Scarlet Nexus, we want both owners of the PS4 and PS5 to have relatively the same experience in terms of the game. But we imagine that the PS5 will come with its own sort of unique services. So I think the difference will come in that regard. The interaction between the different within the new PS5 features and services.
Okay, well, I definitely can't wait to hear what those are eventually. But Anabuki-san, so I have a question just for you. You've been involved with a few of the great games from the Tales series. What sort of similarities, if any, does Scarlet Nexus share with those?
次の質問は穴吹さんに
It looks like
質
a
問なんで
protagonist
すけれ
from
ども、
Fire Emblem. Not gonna
テイル
lie.
ズシリーズに関わっていたっていうことで、今回そのスカーレット・ニクサスとテイルズシリーズのなんかストーリーなんか、同じようなところがあるとか、なんか接点とかそういったところはあるんでしょうか。
お話においてはもう完全に新しいものなので、つながりとかはないですね。はい。テイルズ・オブの開発の知見とかはもちろん生かされてるんですけど、ストーリーは全く別物で、全く別の新しいゲームとなっております。
Yeah, so this game itself, Scarlet Nexus, has no real connection story-wise to any of the Tales, RPG series, but the staff members are there. So I guess the spirit of the Tales is there, but in terms of the story or any of the world settings have no relation to each other.
Yeah.
Got it. So I read that this is a fast-paced action game, but there's a strategic element involved. Can you explain that a little bit?
このゲームすごい、スピーディーなファーストペースな、アクションゲームっていうのを聞いてるんですけれども、それにかつなんかいろいろとなんか攻略性があったりとか、そういった面も濃いっていうふうに聞いたんですけど、その面についてちょっと、お聞かせください。
はい、そうですね。はいはい。はい。どこまで言っていいのかな。もちろんアクションゲームとしてこだわりを持って作ってます。テイルズ・オブの開発のノウハウを生かしながら簡単操作でかつ誰でも爽快感が得られるようなアクションになっております。かつ各回に対していろんな超能力を使いながら攻略できるってところにはこだわりを持って作らせていただいております。
Yeah, so we did put a lot of emphasis, as you mentioned, in this sort of action element.
I love how his cat is running around in the background.
Staff, the guys who worked on Tales, also are using the experience that they've learned from developing Tales games into developing something that is very simple yet. It really feels good. It feels crisp and intuitive in terms of the action controls. But the strategic side will come mainly in battling what's called the others in the game. So these are the main enemies that you will encounter
so they're called the others.
In the game.
今回今回トレーラーとかでは、この念力を使ったアクションっていうのを少しフィーチャーしてお見せしてますけれども、それがやっぱり今回のアクションの中心に来る、ゲームシステムになりますが、この念力でできること、動かせることっていうのが、これからちょっといろいろバリエーションをお見せしていければなと思いますので、そういったところを使いこなして敵をどんどん倒していくというところを楽しんでいただけるんじゃないかなと思います。
These guys are so cute.
And then Izuka-san just added that in the trailer, there's a feature of you'll see a lot of psychokinesis and psionic abilities taking place, and that will be a big part of the action and strategy of the game. So that's something that we look forward to sharing more information as the time goes by.
Oh man, I was
that
hoping
trailer
they'd
was super
elaborate.
cool. I saw him about ready to swing a train at some enemies. That looked very neat, and I'm excited to see that in action. So when can we expect to see more of Scarlet Nexus?
これからスカーレット・ネクサスに関しての情報の展開なんですけども、これからまた次はいつ頃、新情報を期待できそうですか？
そうですね。続々とこれから出していきますので、皆さんお待ちいただければと思います。はい。
We can't tell you
Translating
dates,
actually
but,
isn't
yeah,
as
we'll
easy
be
as it
trickling
looks.
down some information to you guys. So,
Oh man, they're not saying anymore. Oh,
Fantastic. I'm
I wish they
definitely
could
looking forward
though.
to it. Thank you guys all so much for coming in and having this interview.
ありがとう。
今日はどうもありがとうございました。
はい、ありがとうございました。はい、
ありがとうございました。
Oh, so cute. Oh man, that was cool. I can't wait for that game.
We'll be back after a quick break with some exclusive gameplay for side-scrolling sword fighter Shing. Don't forget, the ad break is a great time to donate to the COVID-19 Response Fund and the Bail Project, all summer of gaming long, at donate.ign.com, or by following the links in the video description. All donations go to combat the spread of COVID and reunite families in need who've been separated by mass incarceration.
And by donating, you'll have a chance to win codes for games like Resident Evil 3 or swag from companies like Bethesda. And donors who give more than $50 will have a chance to win a custom Summer of Gaming Xbox One X. And make sure to follow IGN on TikTok and search IGN Summer of Gaming hashtag for exclusive bonus content and to join the conversation. That's all the stuff we're going to tell you to do right now. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
IGN Summer of Gaming is presented by The Last of Us Part 2, available June 19th.
Yes!
By the Army National Guard.
We can't wait.
Throughout the COVID pandemic to deliver food, build hospitals, and more. Go to nationalguard.com/esports for more info. And by Fuser, who will be partying with us all summer long.
Oh man, Last of Us. Anytime I hear anything about The Last of Us, I'm like, oh my gosh.
News, games, and more is IGN's live news show every day of the week that covers all the day's news about games, movies, comics, and of course more. This is our daily live show that takes a rotating cast of IGN talent, going over all the latest news of the day while taking live questions and comments from chat. We're live every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us on mixer.com/IGN, youtube.com/IGN, and twitch.tv/IGN. See you there.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're constantly updating our feeds to bring you the latest news, gameplay, custom original content, the
That's
best
where I actually got the
user-generated
information
videos
about the
and
Kingdom
art,
Hearts leak from.
memes, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat.
Everybody loves watching a speed run of their favorite game. But what if you got the opportunity to peek into the minds of the developers while they watch their games getting completely wrecked? That's exactly what happens in every episode of Game Devs React to speedruns.
Bring it.
We invite you to ride along with the developers as they react to, question, and enjoy some of the most skilled players exploiting and speeding through a game it took years of their life to create. Join us every Saturday for a new episode.
The next generation of video gaming is on the horizon, and IGN is here to bring you the latest PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X news and analysis in our new weekly show, Next Gen Console Watch 2020. We'll bring on the experts to discuss and analyze all the latest developments around these new consoles. From frame rates, services, features, peripherals, and even all the new tech jargon, Next Gen Console Watch 2020 will keep you up to speed on everything leading up to the next generation of gaming. Join us every Friday for a new episode.
As promised, we are back with more IGN Expo 4 on IGN Summer of Gaming, and we're talking all about Shing. What is
See ya,
Shing?
Darian. Take care.
Oh, it's a demon slashing beat 'em up and the sound my blade makes when it thirsts for blood. But right now we're talking about the beat 'em up. How does Shing play? Well, there's only one way to find out. Actually, there's probably a few ways, but here's the one we chose, exclusive gameplay footage.
Let's go.
Hi guys, Greg from Mass Creation here to give you a short gameplay breakdown of our upcoming game, Shing. At first glance, Shing seems like an old-school arcade.
It's such a
game.
random name,
Well,
Shing.
that was the idea. But as huge fans of the genre, we
I think
played
it
and
literally
tinkered
is
with
the
formula
sound like
and
when you
created a
unsheath
beat 'em
the
up that's
sword, like
faster,
shing.
more reactive,
I don't know.
gives you a
Or
wide
like maybe when
range
you
of
attack with
attacks,
it and it like
defensive
hits off
moves, and
metal.
buffs. Seems complicated? Well,
So random.
it's not, thanks to our unique control scheme. In Shing, you perform attacks
This
with
is actually
clicks
really
and
cool,
spins
though.
of the right analog stick. Yeah, that's right, the right
You can
stick.
move up and down,
As
like
you
back
move
and
the
forth
stick, your
up the
characters
screen.
perform attacks that mimic that movement, giving you instant access to
There
all
was a
sorts
game on the Mega Drive which
From
was
angle
similar
slashes,
in terms of
uppercuts and spins
like
to
gameplay
aerial
and movement
combos,
and
drop attacks and special moves.
animation
Another
on the
cool
screen.
feature is character switching. Using the D-pad, you can switch characters at any time.
Oh,
they don't
man!
share health bars, so you can
She's
treat them like
cool.
4 lives at your disposal. Switching is
Shinobi.
available in co-op as well, so we can exchange characters when you play with friends. Hi there. That's right, there's drop-in, drop-out co-op for up to 4 players. Back to switching. You can use it to extend combos, revive fallen characters, or conserve buffs for later use.
Oh, this is really cool.
Right, buffs. You've probably noticed that some enemies drop glowing orbs when they die. Buffs, or power-ups, give you all kinds of extra abilities,
Oh,
both passive
sick!
and active. These abilities are designed
Yeah, it's a
not
pretty
only to
game.
increase the on-screen
Really
mayhem,
is.
but to give you extra tactical
There's
options.
so much going on screen
counter all
too. Like
kinds
I'm
of
just like, where do I look? Where do I? Everything looks
Talking
awesome.
about skilled enemies, here's a perfect example. Fencer will punish players who are too passive or too predictable. To break his guard, you need to mix up your attacks, quickly react to his counterattacks, and respect the rules of one-on-one duel.
Attack!
will
Combo!
punish anyone who tries to interfere.
Oh my gosh. Combo! Woo! Double
Throughout
tag
your
team.
adventure, you will encounter all kinds of enemies with different skills, each with multiple ways to defeat them.
Well, that
It's
thing
a
came out the
perfect
Earth.
opportunity
That was
to
pretty
talk about
cool.
something that almost never exists in beat 'em ups: defense. Best defense is good offense. Doesn't always apply in Shing. Sometimes the best offense is
I
good
really like the
defense.
art style of
You
this
can
game.
block and parry incoming attacks. Blocking is easier, but your guard can break if you take too many hits. Parrying requires good timing, but a successful parry will negate all damage and unleash a powerful
Oh no
counter.
way! That was really
Or,
cool.
if you parry
It almost
projectiles,
looked like
fireballs,
first that was a
arrows, or grenades,
2D drawing, but
a
then
parry
it
will
kind of
send
just
them back to where they
emerged
came
into
from.
3D on the
Those
screen.
returned projectiles
That
can
was
deal
really
extra
cool.
damage, break
And I
shields,
like the
or send
backdrops
whole
in this
groups
game.
of enemies flying, opening them up for juggle combos.
It would be
And all
kind of
that
neat if
in
you could
cool
walk into the backdrop
anime-inspired
and then go to a
graphics,
different
tons
like
of
scene.
slick animations and special effects. All the technical tricks we had to pull off to achieve that OG arcade feel of the visuals are huge subjects for another time. Instead, let's talk about another important ingredient of any good beat 'em up: music. Good beat 'em up soundtrack not only gives each stage a unique mood, but most importantly gets you in
That
the
is
right
actually
rhythm during
so
the fight. With good music, beat 'em ups can feel like rhythm games. There's this magical moment when you start attacking to the beat and realize that you're dancing with your enemies. What else? Cool characters? Check. Cheesy one-liners and bad jokes? Check. Environment storytelling? Check. Bosses? Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that guy! He's gone into Super
You may
Saiyan
have
mode.
noticed a shadow lurking in the background watching our heroes every step of the way. Like in every good drama, it foretells a big event that is about to happen.
Oh man.
Before that, let's take a short detour. Throughout the stages, you will encounter all sorts of interactive
Oh, they are walking
These
into
will
the
take you to
backdrop.
optional challenge rooms, which will test your skills in various ultra-hard scenarios. Or they might lead to so-called lore rooms, where you can spend some time with the characters and get to know them better or learn something about the world.
Look at this. They're legit all in
And
that
the
back.
boss. Shing's
Onsen.
stage bosses are the summary of the level. Like an exam at the end of the school year. They test everything you've learned so far, and each one is unique. So, if you're looking for a fast-paced, intense beat-em-up action to play solo or with friends,
Yes, the
Shing
mist
your
effect
game.
is it.
Thanks for watching. Greg signing off.
Very, very cool indeed. Shing!
You're watching IGN Summer of Gaming. Later on, we've got a SpongeBob stream and a look into Xbox Smart Delivery.
I've already seen
Plus an interview
SpongeBob.
with Tony Hawk at the end of the day. But right now, some info on the Forgotten City.
The Forgotten City started out as a Skyrim mod before becoming so popular that the developers decided to spin it off as a brand new game of its own. Here's Max and one of the developers to take a tour of the Forgotten City.
So it was Skyrim mod. Interesting.
The Forgotten City began as a Skyrim mod, which won awards and was downloaded millions of times. And now it is becoming a standalone game. Here to tell us about it from Modern Story, we have writer and studio director Nick Pierce. Nick, welcome.
Hi, how's it going?
Going just fine. The Forgotten City has been in the works for quite some time. It is a narrative, interactive, explorable world. Can you just kind of give us the explanation of what's going on here?
Sure. So it's an open world murder mystery caught. It's set in an ancient Roman city caught in a time loop. And as you say, it's a standalone reimagining of a mod that won a National Writers Guild Award and racked up millions of downloads. In it, the player discovers the ruins of an ancient Roman city, travels back in time 2,000 years, and investigates what caused it. And
I
tries
truly
to
think this is very inventive, though.
Now, can you
I can understand why
give
it
us a little
had
bit of a
millions
kind of
of
a guide
downloads.
or an idea
That's
of what
why
the
they
gameplay
decided
is
to
like?
make it a
Is it
standalone
predominantly
game,
just sort of
so why
talking
not
to people, or is
capitalize on
it
that?
solving puzzles? Is there any combat?
Sure. So there's all of that. So predominantly,
This guy's holding a microphone in the
murder
game.
mystery, so the player will be doing a lot of investigation and
Right?
exploration and talking
No,
to people.
is it a torch or a
The
microphone?
dialogue has lots
Probably a
of
torch.
branching narrative and opportunities to
Yeah, it's a
roleplay.
torch,
And then, of course, there are puzzle and combat elements as well. Although certainly the focus is on investigation and exploration.
Now, obviously, a murder mystery has a certain amount of sort of twists and turns to it. Can you talk a little bit about how much the standalone game might differ from the mod for anybody who might have played the original and is?
Oh no!
I
Oh my
think that
gosh!
every aspect
Super
of
duper lagged.
the game has been leveled up. So it has a new setting, a new engine. We're using Unreal. It has new twists and
Awesome.
story beats and endings. It has more endings than the original ones. There are at least 4.
I
new
love it.
endings,
This looks so cool.
4 endings in total. It also has a new orchestral
I
score.
prefer this
new
game
professional voice acting,
like
new
at
animations,
night.
and
Do you know what I
gameplay
mean?
mechanics.
Because we saw the
So I
daytime
think
setting of
the
this
feedback
game.
we've got from testers so far
like
is that
comparatively,
it just feels like a whole
just
new game.
looking at it from this
So we've taken
perspective,
the best
when
elements
the
from the
characters
original
moving
and
around
the
at
best
night, it feels
characters,
so much more eerie and
we've sort of
dark
just
and
woven them
atmospheric.
into a wonderful new experience for people who enjoyed the mod to enjoy it all over again.
Now, this project began as something that was pretty much just you and one other
Whoa,
person.
what
Is that right?
that? That must be the time
So
machine
it was
portal,
just me.
right?
Well, the mod was entirely my doing with the help of a composer and some voice actors. This time around, I've sort of built up the team a bit with
Yeah,
the help of
feel
Victoria
you.
and Epic. So we've got a core team of 4 people.
I like it. I just
the
like it so
production
much
values
more when
are, I
it's
think,
nighttime in the game.
than the mod. But we're still a very small team.
So we've seen this game
trying
a
to
couple of
punch above our
times
weight
now,
with,
like
you know,
during
with
the
what we've got.
daytime. We saw it yesterday. We saw it earlier
Can you speak
today.
a little bit about the historical accuracy? I feel like you've got an impressive bookshelf behind you. How much how strictly rooted in ancient Rome is this? And how many liberties did you take?
Impressive bookshelf.
It's a good question. So we have engaged the services of a wonderful historical consultant.
Alan Wake?
I'm not quite
No,
ready to talk about him just
haven't.
yet, but I
Haven't
will
even
say
heard
that
of
he
it.
is an Oxford scholar. He teaches at Cambridge, and he has been wonderfully helpful in helping us try to
Wow!
create
So they've actually
really,
thoroughly
historically
researched
authentic
for this
world
game. Like they've
to the extent
consulted
that that's allowed by the story.
lecturers at
Obviously,
Cambridge Uni and
there's time
everything.
travel involved and aspects of mythology. So certainly not historically accurate, but in terms of the environment and the costumes and the character backstories, we're aiming for historical authenticity.
Now, obviously, you have a lot of freedom when you're, building something completely from the ground up, and it's not, modifying something. Was there anything you were particularly excited about being able to do, and having the sort of the freedom to put into the game that you would have liked to have around the first time around? That's now here in the standalone.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I like to think of the game as, the story we always wanted to tell for exactly that reason, because we're able to do things with Unreal Engine that
Horror
I couldn't
game.
have dreamed
Quite
of with the mod.
scary.
And I also like to think
Simone, you know how I feel about
the,
horrors. I can play them as long as I have
making a
someone
new
with me
game
while
as
I'm
opposed
playing
to
it
making a mod
on
is a bit
stream. Otherwise, I'll freak
building
out.
a house as opposed to putting an extension on an existing house. You just have, there's so much more to do, and it requires an enormous amount of work, but at the same time you have, much more creative freedom. And so, one of the gameplay mechanics that we've built is around the golden rule. So, I have to explain it a little bit. The backstory is that in the city, if anyone commits a sin, everybody dies. And so that was the case in the mod. It's the case in the game. Although in the game we call it the golden rule. And so what happens is that when somebody commits a sin, the earth rumbles.
So
and a
if you
booming
commit
voice
even one
bellows out
sin in this game, everybody dies.
The light
What?
changes, and all these golden statues come to life and start firing golden bows at people.
Whoa!
And so what happens
Golden
when a person is
statues
hit
come
with a
to life
golden
and start
bow,
firing
or a
golden
golden
balls
arrow
at
is
people?
That, gold sort of creeps over their skin, and they slowly sort of melt into a golden statue. It's a really cool effect, and you've got to see
Whoa,
it.
that was cool.
And that's something that
That
we
was
never
neat.
have done without Unreal Engine. In fact, when I said to my programmer that that's what I wanted to do, I really didn't think it was going to be possible. But he just looked at me and said, "Yeah, we can do that." And so it was done within a day. It's very cool.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome. Now we've seen a lot of people. I mean, obviously the modding community is huge. We've seen, games that let people make games. Mario Maker, Dreams, for instance. Do you have any advice for
really
people
cool.
who are, getting their feet wet, building a game within another game, who might eventually want to break that out and create a game of their own separately? Do you have any tips from
I
your
love
experience
this.
you could
You
pass
can
on?
actually manipulate your environment.
Good question. Look, I think.
Oh, what the hell is
I'd
that?
say if
Weird
you-
ass
if you're
skeleton
serious
zombie
about
looking.
turning
Oh
your
my
idea
gosh.
into
What is that?
standalone
Ah!
it is an extremely difficult path. I've been very fortunate in that I've had assistance from Film Victoria, the state government, Arts Body, and also
Sneak.
Epic gave us a
We
grant
have some
which helped us
stealth
going.
modes in this game.
When you're developing an indie game, it's a little bit like
Do you know what? I'm really impressed with
Mario,
this.
where you're running along and
It
the
has
platform
a
is
lot of
disintegrating
different
beneath
elements.
you, and you've just got to keep going fast enough that you can kind of find safe ground. It's a lot like that, and Epic's funding, gave us the ground that we needed to get to where we are, and eventually land a publishing deal. So look, it's
What's
not for the
happening?
faint-hearted. It's extremely risky.
Oh, no.
But certainly from my perspective, it's
I think
the most,
somebody's killed someone, haven't they?
rewarding thing I've ever done to make.
And now
it's
that
a
whole
dream
thing
come
is
true for
being
me.
unleashed on everyone.
So
Oh my gosh,
I'd
the
say,
golden
if
statues!
that's
Yes,
something
they're
that you're
firing.
interested in,
Oh, wow. And I love how they've turned it black
you
and
should
white
invest
as soon as this whole sin
to
thing
act
has been
professionally from
unleashed
the
on
very beginning.
everyone.
I think there's a
That's
the
really
mod community is
neat,
a
guys.
wonderful,
Like, really fucking
engine
neat.
of creativity, but I think sometimes it can be it can lack a bit of polish. So I think if you are serious about turning your mod into a standalone game, then you should try to act professionally from the very beginning. Try to get as much coverage as you can, and then take it from there.
Nice. Well, the good news is the end is in sight, and the Forgotten City is coming out very soon. Do you have a release date yet, or a window?
Yeah, so the window is winter 2020. It's coming to PC and Xbox.
Nick, thank you so much for the grand tour of the Forgotten City. We're all looking forward to checking it out in the near future. Thanks so much.
Complete strangers brought together by the fates.
Incredibly
To live out
interesting.
our days in a paradise we can never leave.
Welcome back to Check Out This Game on IGN Summer of Gaming, highlighting exciting under-the-radar games worth your attention. This next one is particularly exciting for me because it's basically what happens when you take a turn-based Earthbound-inspired RPG and somehow make that even weirder. Take a look at some exclusive gameplay of Knuckle Sandwich.
Knuckle Sandwich? Oh my gosh. This is gonna be weird. What the hell? Oh my gosh. This is very weird. What? What? This is just really random. Guys, how many random ass games have we seen so far? Powering up. Yeah, not my thing. The last game was called The Forgotten City. Yes, I believe it was Forgotten City. Yep, Forgotten City by Modern Storyteller.
Like what you see? Then head on over to IGN.com or YouTube.com/IGN to watch the full extended version of this gameplay.
Thanks for rocking with us here at IGN Summer of Gaming. Follow us on TikTok and search IGN Summer of Gaming hashtag. Watch us on channel IGN1 on your Samsung TV Plus. Leave us a yappa. Yap, yap, yap. Donate at donate.ign.com. All of that. And while you do, we'll keep things rolling. See, it was a joke. It was a joke with a payoff. With Recompile and an upcoming
Yeah,
3D
I know exactly what you mean.
with
I think it.
Tron, Cyberpunk,
I think
and
that
some
has
classic
so much
platforming action thrown in.
like
Damon got a chance
value,
to chat with one of the developers about it, so
value, like
let's
maybe
take a look.
even replayable value, in terms of just the depth of the game, and I think it's so much more deep than what we.
Welcome back to
actually
IGN
realize.
Summer of Gaming. I'm Damon Hatfield, and now I'm joined by Fee from Fee Games to talk about Recompile. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. How's it going, Damon?
It's great. So Recompile looks very cool. This is a 3D Metroidvania game that takes place inside a computer. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's right. It's a virtual world, kind of inspired by kind of sci-fi films like Tron and like old TV series like Reboot. I really wanted to make a game about a virtual world where you're kind of stuck inside a computer. So that's kind of the setting for it.
Nobody wants to be stuck inside.
And we are
the
actually
Matrix.
a virus that's sort of infiltrating the network.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. So you're a computer virus, and you've been installed into this mysterious computer system. You don't really know what the purpose of the computer is, or why you're there, or what exactly you're there to infect. And that's kind of the journey that you'll be discovering as you play the game.
And we are almost immediately discovered by this sort of floating Death Star-ish orb. What can you tell us about that
that's
character?
That's basically the game's antagonist.
Gotcha.
It's called the Hypervisor. And so the Hypervisor essentially is it's a program that's created by humans there to maintain the system. But it's been abandoned for decades. But because the time runs a lot
You're
faster
essentially a
inside
virus
computer,
within a
because of,
computer
CPU
system.
cycles and stuff, obviously. The Hypervisor's kind of been left there alone for thousands of years, and so he's really surprised seeing you in the kind of shape of a human. Yeah.
Wow.
So talk about our character. I think you've described it as the character is only made up of effects.
Yeah. So the character design, we never had a character
follows
designer when we first prototyped the game. But my business partner, he's a VFX artist and animator. So we decided, why not make a character just purely out of VFX and see what happens?
Wow.
And we did. And we posted it on Twitter, and it got 12,000 likes. And it was from that point we were like, okay, I guess we're making this game.
Yeah, well, it makes for a very unique looking character.
It is unique,
Thank you.
but it falls in line with their
what's
whole
up with
premise
what's up with the sort of vibrating
the character being a glitch.
backgrounds? Is that just part to
So,
show us that? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's to show that part of the world is corrupted, but also as you kind of explore the world, the vibrating meshes, if you like, start to build up and collapse into the actual level geometry, and that's to kind of tell you like you're there to perhaps decorrupt the world, and it's a good way of showing where you've been and where you haven't.
So interesting.
Interesting. So this being a
I'm
Metroidvania
kind of almost
game, you
wondering
are
if this is
legally
like
required to
reality
double
and
jump.
the character is a
And I
glitch,
think
but
that's what we
it's
just
actually human
received
and
right
then
here. Is
eventually
that correct?
turns into a human.
Yeah, there we
That
go.
would be quite cool.
So we have the typical Metroidvania abilities, but there's also a few unique ones in there as well, which we're really proud of.
I believe you said the inspiration for this world was The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Could you explain how so?
Yeah, I mean, I want to be completely, honest with you. It's a big inspiration for the game. I really love the kind of emergent mechanics of gameplay, and we want to recreate that in WeCompile as well. One of the main mechanics in the game is the ability to hack everything, and we hope that players will find solutions to puzzles that even the developers haven't
Not played it though.
thought of ourselves. So that would be interesting to see.
This is so funky.
And what was that we just saw? Sort of the lights that were wrapping around that tube.
So that's it's what's called the logic gate circuit. So the entire world is powered by these dynamic logic gates, and everything is completely systemic. So we don't hard code anything in the game. There's no code that says if you press this button, a door will open. It's all connected via these logic gates, and that's what makes the world so hackable as well.
Oh wow!
It looks like we're getting another power here. I think a little bit ago, there's a lot of platforming, there's a lot of verticality to this world, but it looks like we took a little bit of fall damage a few minutes ago. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a good way of stopping the player from exploring too much too early on, but also the fall damage kind of scales as you progress through the game.
Too.
So eventually, if you can imagine, you'll be able to explore the entire of the vertical world, depending on what abilities you have.
So now I have a machine gun. Ho ho ho! What do we need to know about this? It looks like, do we have infinite ammo?
So in this kind of footage, there is infinite ammo, just to keep things simple. But there are kind of forms of currency or resources in the game that you collect.
What's this
bits,
like center pod? That's what I'm wondering. Like, what is this center
for
pod platform
other
thing?
powerful
Like, do you
abilities
rejuvenate energy
and
there?
ammo as well. So
How do you
there
get to
will
the
be
next
some kind
level?
of resource
That's what I'm
management
trying to
and
figure out.
choices to make there.
Interesting.
Is it like a
Are we actually
portal
looking at like the
system?
opening moments of the game?
So this is kind of a hybrid between what we think will be.
And I don't
very
understand
similar
what
to
the
opening of
objective
game
is here.
and
Obviously,
a,
they're like
kind of a
hacking
vertical slice
into
that we
the game
like to
within the
show,
game type of
to
situation.
kind
But
of
like,
the public,
what is
if
the
they're interested
objective?
in the
Like, do
game.
you have to make sure
It's
all
also
those
something that we
platforms
would
are
like to show
listed,
at
so
events
every
as well.
single
Obviously,
piece of the puzzle,
physical
so to
events
speak,
are few and far between
connectable.
these days, but this
Do you know what I mean?
made a plan for it. Yeah.
And speak to what's happening here. It looks like these flying devices were blocking somewhere we need to get to. Is that right?
Yeah, so they're sitting on these kind of switches.
It's like the
so part of the kind of puzzle solving the game is that you learn to not only activate a switch, but also to deactivate them as well, based on what logic is powering the circuit. So for example, there's 3 switches, and they all need to be unpressed in order to gain the next ability, which you'll see here.
Let's see what ability this is. Oh, I think I know. I think we also saw some slowing down time. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that? But I haven't seen us get that ability.
No, it's just something that I like to include in videos because it looks nice. It shows off the combat really well. But we do have a time hack ability in the game, and that is allows the player to improve the precision on aiming as well as other kind of time related puzzles as well.
I see. So yeah, that last power we got was the dash. So in like under 8 minutes, we've already gotten 3 new powers here. But I think, as you were saying, this is sort of a truncated demo, right? The actual game won't move quite this quickly.
No, I mean it's a full Metroidvania game. There's some real pacing to it, so we wouldn't get 10 abilities in 10 minutes. But for this demonstration today, I just wanted to show
so immersive.
how cool some of the abilities look and how fun to play. The dash actually you can use for combat as well. So if you kind of dash into enemies, you can destroy them.
And I think you've said
like
before you want to be the first ever Metroidvania that has branching narrative. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, sure. So plenty of Metroidvanias that I've played are all pretty linear in the way that you have to collect ability A, B, C to progress through the game. So we wanted to support like multiple play styles, whether you like combat or traversal or hacking, and the depending on which abilities that you choose to get, gives you options on what route to take throughout the world, and then ultimately that will give the player a reason to change the narrative of the game as well. So the idea of Recompile is you're there to help create the first sentient AI. But what kind of AI you create depends on how you play. So if you're an aggressive player, you can imagine what kind of AI you will be creating at the end.
Well, I think Recompile looks really cool. I can't wait to play it. What is the release plan?
So we are currently in the final stages of polishing and fixing bugs, and then we are planning to release the game on PC and Steam.
I love it. It's so glitchy.
At the end of the year, holiday season, and we're also looking at opportunities with next-gen consoles as well. But we currently don't have anything to announce today.
Okay, I will.
Gotcha. Very cool.
I like
well,
it.
Thank you so much for joining us today for
too.
IGN Summer of Gaming. Recompile looks awesome.
Guns and games.
Thank you very much, and yeah, thanks for having me.
Exporter, konnichiwa. How you doing, Tom?
That was Recompile, and now our producer is asking us to use that as a segue to recompile our social and charity information.
First of all, yes, we have seen something interesting.
Don't forget, you can follow IGN on TikTok and search IGN Summer of Gaming.
We have seen Scarlet Nexus, which if you haven't seen the trailer of that yet, do check it out.
And all Summer of Gaming long, we're asking you to donate to the World Health Organization and Bail Project by following the links
Forgotten
in the video
City
description. By donating, you'll have a chance to win codes for games like Resident Evil 3 or swag from companies like Bethesda. Donors who give more than $50 will have a
gaming PC for that, but if you are, it's definitely one to check out and play because it's essentially set in like the Roman era where there's kind of almost time travel, you can kind of call it, I guess.
Stay tuned.
Because there's a lot of time travel elements in this game. Essentially, you have to, it's kind of a detective mystery, but set in those times, and you have to, and it's a lot more in-depth and immersive and complicated than what I'm describing it as. There are a lot of elements to this game, but essentially you go back in time and you have to kind of identify who the killer is in the game, the murderer, and if you don't do it in time and if you get the wrong person, essentially like it's kind of game over, but not quite, because there are time travel abilities in the game where you can kind of travel back in time and essentially do the whole thing again to identify the killer again.
Everybody loves watching a speed run of their favorite
those
game.
Things
but what if you
have
got the opportunity
the ability, it's kind of like almost the Midas
while
touch.
they
You
watch
have
their
the
games
ability
completely
to
wrecked.
shoot
That's exactly what happens
gold,
in every episode of
like
Game Devs React
stream
to
at
speed
objects
runs.
and people, and you can manipulate your environment this way.
We invite
you
you
can
to ride along with the
essentially take
developers
out
as they
enemies
react
this way. So for
question,
example,
and
there's a
enjoy some
frozen
of the
part
most
of a lake,
skilled
you can
players
shoot gold at
exploiting
it,
and speeding through a
freeze it
game it took
completely in
years of
gold,
their life to create.
and
Join us
essentially walk
every
across
Saturday
the lake. It's
for a new episode.
really, really cool. Like many elements of that game that just are incredible. And then there was another one. Oh man, what was the name of it? Let me have a look back at
Custom
the
original
list.
content.
It
The
was
best user-generated videos and art.
Celasta, Crown of the Magister. Another game on Steam. Very much has Divinity vibes if you've ever played that.
On Instagram, Twitter,
I love it. It's a tactical game. Incredibly interesting and has a very dark aesthetic, and again there's a whole lot of environment manipulation happening in that game, so I thoroughly recommend it if you are into those kind of games. So that's kind of an update. Those are the best ones I've seen today. But yeah, guys, Simone, Francisco, what have you guys seen that's cool? Oh, and the last one we just saw, which was oh, what was it called? Recompile. It was like this.
Show every day of the week that covers
You're
all the
essentially a
big news about
character,
games,
which is a
movies,
glitch
comics, and of
within a
course more.
computer system.
This is our daily live show that takes a
and you kind
rotating
of have
cast
come
of
to
IGN
life, and you
talent,
have to
going
hack
over
into
all
the
the latest
system
news of
to
the day.
figure out
We'll take
why you
questions
are
and
what you
comments
are
from
and
chat.
why you're
We're
there.
live
type of
every
thing.
Monday
So
through
you're
Friday at
almost
4 p.m.
fighting the
Pacific,
system,
7 p.m. Eastern.
which
You can find
has
us
so
on
many connotations.
mixer.com/IGN,
So that was really epic too.
IGN, and twitch.tv.
Be right back. Need a
IGN.
cuppa.
See you
Go get it, girl. But yeah, there's a ton that went on. Absolutely incredible showcase of
Welcome back. A little later, we'll have a SpongeBob Rehydrated Let's Play. But next up, here's the latest from our pals over at Humble Bundle, plus never-before-seen gameplay from Corepunk, a promising new top-down MMO RPG.
Okay. Oh no. Nope. I know that Twitch is solely for gamers, like it's the game streaming platform, so that's why I'm drawn to it, and that's why I want to continue growing it and streaming on it, and I just feel like I'm in good company of other gamers, right? But then again, on the other hand, YouTube has a ton more of an audience for me because there's just so much more people that watch me here on YouTube and enjoy me streaming here on YouTube, so I'm just a little confused right now. I'm trying to deliberate between the two and figure out which platform I should stream on going forward. So I will probably be updating Instagram today or tomorrow when I come to a bit of a decision, but I'm still very confused. Like, if you guys just check out my Twitch compared to YouTube, I think Twitch I have like 40 followers. Let me have a look. I have about 40, let's see, 43 followers actually on Twitch. And you know, compare that to YouTube where I've got like nearly 600 followers now. I'm just confused between the two platforms. Exactly, that's the thing, Chomp. Like, there are so many pros and cons to both of them. I'm just a little bit stumped. I have no idea which direction to go in at this point, because there are a ton of people that are like, stream on YouTube, and then there are an even, you know, kind of a number, well, not an even number, but like a fair a fair argument for streaming on Twitch, and a fair few people that have asked me to keep going on that platform. So I'm torn between the two. I'm like, what do I do? And honestly, like you said, there's pros and cons for both, and I'm just trying to figure out which direction to go in at this point. But I will be updating Instagram when I come to a decision, hopefully soon. Hopefully today. If not today, then definitely tomorrow. A lot of people do both, stream on Twitch, upload to YouTube later. Yes, that's what I've been doing up until now. Like, in the beginning, I started streaming on YouTube. The only reason why I switched was actually because there was an issue with me streaming once on YouTube. Like, there was some restriction, and it restricted me streaming a demo, whereas YouTube wasn't restricting other streamers, and that kind of really pissed me off, and I was like, this is stupid. So I saw a bunch of people streaming the same demo. It was actually Trials of Mana on Twitch, and when I saw that, I was thinking, well, why not just go for the platform which is made for gamers? So that's why I switched to Twitch, and I've since been uploading gameplay onto YouTube. But I mean, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people aren't even interested in my, like, on my YouTube channel of watching gameplay. I think a lot more people are interested in watching live streams on my channel, so I'm just torn between the two. Super duper confused. Funky music. Interesting, because since I've been streaming now on YouTube, I've suddenly got like a surge of new followers, which is, you know, crazy to me and shocking. Amazing though, and I'm super appreciative of it. And then since I've also been streaming a lot more regularly on Twitch, I also have a few new followers there, so it's just, I'm so confused between both of them. It's absolutely, like, I don't even know which direction to go in. have you been, Chomp? Hope you've been good.
I'm joined today by Eugene Kiver. Thanks for talking with us. So let's start with the most basic of basic questions. What is Corepunk? What is this game you guys are working on?
In a nutshell, Corepunk is a top-down MMORPG in a vast, seamless open world with fog of war. Like initially, we thought we really wanted to have this experience of playing with fog of war in an open world, and we weren't able to find any other place, so we decided to build this game.
And this is like a traditional MMO, right? Like this will be a large explorable world.
Lately, there's a lot of instance-based games and session-based games.
Wow, I like
and
the art
there's
style.
not a lot of like classic MMOs. I mean, where
Not
you can
sure if
meet
you're
all,
doing
like,
this already,
thousands
but if you want to
of
grow on
people
Twitch,
on
I
in persistent
suggest
world. So yeah,
you
that's
watch other
pretty
people's streams,
traditional
start and chat, find
MMORPG.
like-minded
And
friends
you mentioned it already,
creators.
but this was something I did want to talk
Twitch
about,
raids
which was
bring a lot
the
of new
fog of war specifically. You know, fog of war is
that's how I
something we
discovered a
usually
lot of
see in stuff like RTSs,
interesting.
that sort of
Okay.
thing, not
I mean,
really
I-
like MMO.
I
What
don't
is,
watch other Twitch
why was it important
streamers
to include this?
or
Why did you
anything,
want
only
to see
because I
an
just
MMO with
don't
fog of
even
war
get
like
the
this? And
time.
kind of what does it bring to Corepunk?
And
I have no idea what a Twitch raid is.
A lot of this
I have
encounters
returned
that
my
you would
minions.
not expect to get in
Simone,
a
I had to
game where
add
you
that on the end.
see like 4 kilometers
How
in
you
front
doing?
of you.
I hope
don't
you're
know
enjoying your cuppa.
what awaits you behind the next corner. Like what will happen? You can meet a foe. You can
Look at
get
this
into
swampy
the fight because we
environment.
have this
Oh
open
man,
world PvP.
I can just
so you
imagine
can
something like
get attacked
appearing
anywhere
from
in the
beneath,
world,
like
or you
from
can
the
create these
freaky
ambushes on other
waters.
people, or you can meet a friend who like you can meet someone in the forest. You chat to him and become friends for a very long time. You don't know what awaits to you. Like
And let's
the
talk
scope
about
of the map in terms
some of those
of
environments
camera
that you'll be
is very
discovering under Fog of War
limited.
too.
I
Because
don't
you
know
just
if
mentioned
you
one
guys
was
have
like
noticed, like
something I noticed
they're
back in your
clicking,
gameplay
like,
reveal trailer
very
back in
close
December, I believe
to
it was.
the previous points on the
There's
map.
a
Do you
ton
understand
of
what I'm
visual
saying?
variety
Like, there's
in this
not.
game. You know, it's
I don't know
one
if you can
moment you're
zoom out
looking
of the
at
map and maybe
like
click
steampunk style
further, so you don't
trains.
have to
Another
just
moment
keep
you're in like a
making
neon
small clicks,
cyberpunk
but
city, and then another
that
you're in
seems a
more of
bit
a
tedious.
traditional, fantasy based MMO forest fighting creatures. So like, what are some of the themes you'll see in Corepunk?
yeah, actually the trailer was kind of packed with all these environments. So yeah, in an actual game they are much more spread out all in the world. But yeah, there's 4 basic cultures and themes we wanted to see in Corepunk. That's monopunk, which like fantasy basically, this cyberpunk, steampunk, and post-apocalyptic
Yeah, I definitely feel the
dieselpunk.
steampunk
So, but there are cities of these
at the
cultures
beginning of this for
are
sure.
really like far apart. So you would not, they're not
The steampunk element at the beginning was super
in
strong.
one city, but there's kind of eclectic. There's a lot of mix of cultures in a game.
And that was like an explicit goal, was to sort of focus around. I mean, I know the name is Corepunk, so it was really to kind of go around these different sort of punky ideas.
Yeah, at some point we just realized that there's a lot of punk styles in the game, and this world of Corepunk, its lore is that it is like a cradle of life, and basically it's just a core for everything. So we decided to just call it Corepunk.
Are there different environments? I want to see like more
the actual things like combat
different
classes.
settings.
How does Corepunk handle sort of the more like a traditional MMO class system, something like that?
We have 4 archetypes. Those are tank, heal, damage dealer, and support. Support is getting much more attention lately in session-based games.
Okay, cool.
So
now we're dressing up our
fans
character.
of that archetype too, so we decided to add this class. And in terms of how you would select your class, we have 12 heroes and 6 that we are focusing on to bring into closed beta. And each hero
Okay, now
has
she's starting to
3
look like a
weapon
badass.
masteries, and basically each weapon mastery is your class. So
Hmm.
yeah, you have that's how it works.
So there's 12 heroes, each with 3 weapon masteries. So that's a lot of kind of choice in sort of how you decide to bring your character.
Yes, that's a lot. But like, for example, you can be like, not all classes are in one character, right? There's just only 3 weapon masters, but basically kind of weapon you can use with that hero, and you can switch between them and upgrade them. Yeah, but there's a lot of like
so there's some
distinct
flexibility in the
styles
game.
in a game with that many characters and 3 masteries.
I'm getting 90s vibes from some of these, but
So I
it's
gotta
cool.
ask,
There's still
if
room for
there's
games like this. Gameplay.
like a healing archetype and
Yes,
a support archetype,
I know exactly what you
how do the
mean.
2 differ? Because a lot of times those 2
I know
are sort of
exactly what you mean.
interchangeably used.
But you're right. There's
Yeah,
definitely
but,
still room for
support
games like
is
these. In
more
fact, there
about
are players who
controls,
solely
helping
seek out
people,
games
and,
just
you know
like
that
this.
If you're
Just
in
for the
a raid,
experience.
your primary goal is to heal, but support can stop someone, can help you. So it's just more diversity is more diverse. Yeah.
A lot more utility, more
Yeah.
than just straight up keeping people alive. Cool.
Yeah.
What about the combat specifically too? Because in some of the gameplay you've already shown off, and it's you've got a lot of like big red circles that you have to dodge out of the way of, that sort of thing. It seems very action packed, very kind of dynamic, rather than just right click and take your hands off of the controls and be done.
Yeah, like in a lot of MMOs, you get to the cap level and you're not interested in an open world anymore. So there's just mobs that are staying like at some spots, and you just hit everything you have, like spawn all your abilities, and you kill them. And we really wanted to make this part of the game interesting to higher level players. So each camp, it consists of different mobs, and they get rearranged each time you kill them off.
By this game.
So
Hi,
they
game,
actually
HD.
work together. Some of them keep distance to like range.
Yeah, it does
type.
kind of have that vibe.
Some
I
of
know what
them
you're
will
saying.
heal other parts of that camp. So they help and they cooperate, and you have to move, and we really wanted to make it like a part of the game because it's much more interesting.
And so that also sounds like enemy variety is kind of, or enemy variety and also enemy behavior is pretty important in that.
Sure.
Can you tell me a little bit kind of how you're tackling enemies and the things you'll actually be going up against?
Some enemies can have different abilities every time they're spawned. So like, for example, a zombie, for example, it can, after you kill him, it will explode, for example, and you did not expected that from him. So some will like use like for example, freeze you and they'll give levers to other like mobs to attack you while you're frozen. So they're different every time. You usually don't know what you have to adjust your tactics every time. Every time you meet a camp, you need to think about whether you have to, how would you approach it.
And what about I know this is early since you guys aren't even in beta yet, so it's sort of maybe jumping the gun a little bit to talk about this, but you mentioned sort of like in some other MMOs, these mobs just sort of like being there for high level players. What do you guys imagine the end game of Warpunk looks like? Are you gonna have these giant raids? Are you gonna expect people to go into PvP? How do you hope for like dedicated players to be engaging with it for a long time?
Yeah, that's actually a problem for a lot of modern MMOs, that they have too much of too little, basically, of high-end content. Basically, 40% of our game is for you to get to the cap level, and after that, 60% of the game is high-level content, and it's open world. It's like vast wilderness where you can find like rare monsters, rare world bosses.
He's got a cool
That's
punk hoodie.
Dungeons, that's randomly generated dungeons and custom dungeons. There's also raids and arenas, battlegrounds, just plenty of things to do, basically.
Well, great. Eugene, thank you so much for joining us, telling us all about Core Punk. It was a pleasure to have you on.
Oh wow, that was abrupt.
We are nearing the end of our 4th IGN Expo, but there's plenty of great Summer of Gaming content to come. Today alone, we'll have a special Xbox One X update and an exclusive SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom rehydrated Let's Play.
Not to mention our Animal Crossing charity stream tomorrow, where our pal Brian Altano will be touring a bunch of celebrity islands in Animal Crossing New Horizons. You can catch it wherever you stream IGN or on channel IGN1 on your Samsung TV Plus. All right, let's end Expo 4 strong. What's on deck?
Destroy All Humans, the game, not the directive. Destroy All Humans abducted its way into fans' hearts with a zany style and chaotic alien invasion-themed mayhem. It's now been completely rebuilt from the ground up for modern platforms. Let's check it out.
Pretty sure this is another one we've seen.
Destroy All Humans is the upcoming open-world sci-fi action-adventure reboot of the classic 2005 game, and I can't wait to learn more about it. So here to help me do just that is Dennis Schleifer and Stefan Schmitz from Black Forest Games. Hi, guys.
Oh my gosh, these guys look like brothers.
Hello.
Right?
It's good to see you. So we have been tracking this game for a long time here at IGN.
Wow.
Big fans.
They
Me
look
particularly
so-
because I think this does
so
a really
alike.
good job of sort of fusing comedy and chaos, which is two of my favorite genres in all of life. And so we saw this game, you know, you were showing it off around the convention cycle last year. What's new this time around? Like what are the sort of the new additions that you guys are kind of proud of here?
And the first thing that is
Little
new that we
alien.
have a release date, so it's coming out on 28th of July. So many people were waiting for this. And of course, we now
SpongeBob, yes,
have
Xbox,
done the whole
no.
production and kind of can tell you a bit more about the changes we did to the original
Look at
and
this.
what we kept.
What the heck?
And I think Stefan, as our assistant creative director, might be best to talk about that.
Yeah, sure.
It was called Zap-O-Matic.
Largely the development.
I don't know how I
since
feel
we
about
showed it
this
off
being a
last
human,
time, I
like
think
being
it
an
was
alien
E3
destroying all
last year,
humans.
was that
It's interesting to be on the other
we
side.
applied a very strong level of polish to everything. The VFX look more crisp right now. The gameplay was now smoothed. We took actually some feedback that we got from earlier interviews and from fans when we showed off a few things in our trailers, and improved a bit on our PK system. It's now really fun to just toss around things and make them exactly land where you want them to land. Also, a few of the additions that are very apparent is, for example, how we let the synergies between weapons and
With his little jetpack.
psi abilities work together. For example, with the ion detonator, Crypto's signature grenade-throwing weapon was an extremely nice detonation and disintegration
Mind you, I
factor to
shouldn't
it.
discriminate. It
If you
could be
toss a
female
grenade,
alien.
if you shoot a
Look at
grenade
this!
that
Oh my
thing,
gosh!
and you pick it immediately up with PK afterwards, you can basically fling it and toss it like a dart, or it feels
My
more like a rocket
favorites.
launcher when you use PK on it.
Gary!
So you essentially turn one weapon into two
Gary's
different
cute.
weapons by just trying out to fiddle around with your psychokinetic abilities around it.
Yeah.
So
We
that's
saw
a big
this
part of
earlier
this
with
is
Scarlet
sort of
Nexus.
combining systems to create
Psychokinesis
mayhem. And they make
and all
you know
of
there's a
that.
lot of open world games where you are rebuilding things or bringing people together, you know, doing objectives that are sort of a little bit more peaceful. This is obviously just about destruction. It's literally in the title of the game. So how is it to sort of nail that feeling
Destroy.
of just pure mayhem?
My gosh,
like,
green
what's the most
ooze.
important thing to get right when you want
Green
players
alien
to really get in
ooze.
there and just wreck shop?
I think
It's like the
yeah,
green
go
ooze
ahead,
of
Dennis.
death from that weapon.
Yeah, so I think one of our biggest focus was the controls of the game. We wanted the player to always feel in control and to always know what he has to do to
What if
achieve
you could
the
like
kind of
play
destruction he wants
two-player
to
in this game in split
so we
screen, and
spent
you
a
could
lot
just
of time optimizing
like
and
have like a multiplayer
looking also at
situation
later,
going on where you could
installments of the original
have
games, how
teams
they already
of your
found
friends,
solutions
some that were
for
aliens and then some that were
control,
humans, and you
let's
gotta like
say
fight against
issues
each
or
other and
criticism that people had
see
for the
who
first
goes
game.
out first.
So we took all into that into consideration.
Like you can take out who
and to really
first,
focus
aliens
on
versus
smooth
humans.
controls and a fluid gameplay.
Oh,
So
it's free on
that was
Xbox
one of-
Live
yeah.
right now.
Now, like in
Good for
terms of
Xbox people.
traversal, I think what I really
If
dig
they're
about
into
this
this type of
game,
game.
that's super cool to me is the sort of the platforming feel of it. It's, you know, it almost feels grounded in traditional platformers, which obviously the original game kind of came out right at the tail end of that kind of renaissance of 3D platforming games. Tell me a little about traversal, because we're obviously seeing, you know, jetpacking, double jumping.
It's
It
an
looks
alien
like
with a
almost
serious vendetta.
rocket shoes. Like there's a lot of really cool ways to get around in this game.
Oh, we missed.
What we were looking at when we started the development of the game is we were looking not only at
Oh, we missed again. No.
1, but also the whole series as a whole. And one thing that was very
This time,
apparent to us when we
Alien.
looked
This
at the
time.
Aliens 1 and
Woo!
2 is
Got it.
essentially this this power fantasy of being that the alien invader, and how much fun
game
it
is
is to
absolutely nuts.
near your foes
Literally.
with these
Oh
fun
my
powers.
gosh, that was
And we
called
have the
anal
feeling-
probe.
we have the feeling to actually build up upon them, make the
I can't
jetpack
believe
is
that.
one
That's
of the most
ridiculous.
signature things.
They did not
Feel
just do
fast,
that.
Powerful.
They
and,
did not
and,
just
and
go
really
there.
cool to use. As you can see here right now in the example, all the zipping around. Which you then can switch into a focus mode when you play with a gamepad to essentially sail around enemies. It makes it feel really fast paced. But
Oh,
totally in
alien,
control of
dude.
that.
You're getting knocked
And
out.
to play on top of that and put it into a modern.
Oh
in a modern
no, the
sense, a
alien's
modern
getting
setting
knocked out.
of modes
Oh,
of
low
locomotion
power.
and
I mean, low
transportation.
health power.
We added
Low life,
we
whatever you
added
want
an
to call
additional
it.
dash, which is also doubling as an evasive ability if you're under fire, and the skate ability, which is an upgrade you can simply attach to crypto and go like skating on this kind of psi hover cushion while you either
Oh my
enjoy the view
gosh.
or try to get fast from
Crazy.
A
This
to B.
game is crazy.
God, I love it. Yeah, I love it so much. This is exactly kind of what I look
Way
for in
too
open world
repetitive
games,
though,
right?
like
It's
stupidly
this sort of,
repetitive.
ability to
This is
just kind
okay
of
if you
approach
want to like
things
quick
however I want. We
game
saw an objective
and
earlier
do
that was
something
basically
like,
kill a
you know,
human
it doesn't take
with
much
a
brain
with a
cells
car,
and you
which
just
you've
want to
done
play something
now
fun
several
for 5
times
minutes or
during the
something,
length of
but
this gameplay. What are your
I
some
could
of
not.
your
Like,
sort of
these
like
kind of
favorite
games
weird
just
objectives
kill
in
my
this
brain
game, like the really
cells.
crazy ones, without spoiling too much?
Stefan, I think you.
Way too repetitive.
I think my favorite is right from Turnip Seed Farm.
Whoa! That
Essentially,
was like a
traditional objectives.
supernova
One of them
attack.
is, oh yeah, kill those bovine creatures which are not reacting to the Furon invaders. And you go, okay, oh, drown a cow in the lake. Let's try this. PK
Flying
and go,
alien.
poof.
Everybody's
That's the
worst
one.
nightmare.
And the second one is, oh yeah, Martha Turnipseed is still around when you have to kill the cops. So kill her with a chicken. With a chicken? Oh boy, chickens are deadly
That's a
throwing
good
weapons.
vantage
I
point.
love it so much.
Oh, that is so awesome to hear. I wanted to ask about that too because it's sort of, I mean, not about chickens, although we can always talk about chickens.
Sure.
But the
Overkill.
chickens are sort of a classic comedy trope, and comedy is pretty tough in video games because comedy is about.
I like
timing.
how everybody in this game is
in
just
this
casually
game,
walking
I'm,
around while
like,
there's an
cackling
alien
and
on the
laughing
loose.
almost the entire
They are
time because
looking
of
at the alien
a
and
lot
they're
of the
like,
sort
yeah,
of-
that's normal.
It's sort of almost vintage kind of Looney Tunes-esque comedy in this game. When you zap a car,
Oh my god,
it
look at the
jiggles, and
policeman.
when
No
you
chance, mate.
electrocute
You got
somebody and
no
you see their whole
chance.
skeleton. What were some of your sort of comedy influences for this game, and how do you get comedy right in a video game?
I mean,
You have
the
been
great
zapped.
thing we had great material to work with. The whole storyline, the voiceovers, the way the voiceovers were done,
This is a
already
bit
kind
more
of
like it.
inspired
This gun.
the whole team to find more in that.
There's this
in that
aircraft.
area.
Yes. Onwards.
So and you're absolutely right. It's a lot about timing. It's a lot about how it actually looks. Then I mean, for example, there was a long discussion.
Now destroying
what
buildings.
art style we should go for. Should
Heck
we go for a
yes.
bit more realistic? Should we go for the art style that we then chose
Destroy
now,
it
which is a bit
all.
more cartoony? And the humor was one of the main aspects why we decided to go for a bit more cartoony style, since I think it lends itself better to make the game fun and not too serious. I mean, it's a game about destroying all humans, and if you would have done this, in a super realistic style, I don't know if it would have had the same charm as it does now.
Oh my gosh. It's
Now,
just
the
burning the
vehicular
entire
combat
thing.
is amazing.
Smithereens.
I love the absolute destruction that's happening right now. Tell me about some of the weapons there. We just
Carnage.
saw this is
Total carnage.
Is this just basically like a massive laser beam flamethrower?
The alien's like,
that can
I
do
will
graffiti on
destroy
the
your
ground?
happy little park.
That weapon is
No more walks for you humans.
You go first. You go first.
I mean, The name says it all.
Oh
It's a death
God,
ray.
it's like molten lava.
That's what its job is. So yeah, so what we
Oh,
added is that you
abduction!
can also
Just abducted a
shoot
little
just
person.
downwards
It's
from
very
you instead of
repetitive.
just
Yeah.
forwards,
See, this is
just to
yeah.
kind of
Completely agree. This is
go
the
with the
reason
whole
why, like
UFO
I said
trope a
earlier,
bit more.
I can't really
Yeah,
deal
so
with
that
these kinds
is
of
the main
repetitive
weapon you have
games. They
from the
just do
beginning.
nothing for my,
But you also have then
I don't know,
the
for my
quantum
sense of
deconstructor
just
and the sonic boom. I hope I said the
adventure.
right
I
ones
need
now.
a lot more going on than
Stefan,
just
correct me if
destroying
I didn't.
shit.
Quantum
very good
deconstructor
thing.
and sonic boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, you occasionally feel bad about what you're doing here, I imagine, but ultimately,
why
like, you
I
are
can't really get
playing
into
sort of
stuff
as the
like
bad guy, but there's a
Fortnite.
motivation there, right? Like, it's not just
That being
pure
said,
chaos.
though,
Or
I
am I
played
inventing
Call
that?
of Duty and I
Is this
do
dude
Call
just
of
ready
Duty,
to
and that
wreck
is
shop?
basically just shooting
No,
people
the
and things
Furies
and
have a
all
mission.
sorts. But
The Furies are on
Call
Earth
of Duty is
to
different. I know.
collect
I
Furan
just really
DNA
like
that
that
has
game.
been
But Fortnite
intermingled
is
with the
this is kind of
human
similar
DNA
to
a long
that
time
kind of
ago
game
when
where you just shoot and kill
sailors,
stuff
so to
and
say, from the
the
Furans
same
were
thing
on
again and
shore
again.
leave on Earth
But
and
like I said, then
picked
again,
what
I play
sailors
Call
do
of
then.
Duty and I like that.
And
I guess
so
it
the
just
Furan
depends on the
race,
type of
as
game.
they only as they clone themselves, and this degrades their DNA. They're at the
Death
point where their
Ray.
DNA is not strong enough anymore, so they need this
Guys,
fresh,
I feel like I'm gonna
old
go
kind
like
of
have
Furan
to head
DNA,
off
and that's their
earlier
mission. That's
today
the main reason why they're on Earth.
because we've already seen
Yeah, I
SpongeBob.
love that. So
And
while
I'm not really keen on seeing that, and
Oh
I don't
no,
think
that's
they have
great.
much
While you
more. Let
were
me have a
you're
look
saving
at
a
the
race while you're
roster.
destroying sort of like a classic donut shop, which I like.
Yep, we've seen
I was
basically
wondering how
everything
that
now.
building
We've
particularly
seen
would explode, and
Destroy
seeing
All
the
Humans, this
donut
is the
just
one.
soar
We
into
saw
the
Fight
air and
Crab,
land
which was
back in
crazy.
fire
Forgotten
is just
City
like
was
it
awesome.
warms my heart. I mean, it
Recompile
breaks
was
my heart too because I love
really
donuts.
cool.
But
New World,
how
we
like
saw way
how
too
much
much
fun
of.
are you guys having just sort of
Then there was
deciding
Shing,
how you want things to explode, and the
Solasta,
physics in which
I
certain
loved.
parts break off, and things burst into flames and
SpongeBob.
stuff like that? Because it seems like you're
So
having
they're
a
gonna
blast.
have like
Absolutely,
SpongeBob
it
2
is a
times,
blast.
and then we
But
saw
as
Scarlet
with games
Nexus. So
development, there's just
guys,
a lot of
I
meetings, a lot of
think
sitting
this
together
kind
and
of does
thinking
it for
about
me today.
how
I've
can we
basically seen it
transport
all.
it? How can we be
Um,
stay true to the identity of
SpongeBob
this
will just
game
be a
and kind of
repeat.
ramp it a bit up to 11?
I
but
call
not
it
too
fork
much.
knife.
So we try really we try with our
You
designs,
didn't.
with our
Oh my
implementations
gosh,
to
you're
find the
funny.
sweet spot really that is kind of complementing the original game, but on the other hand feels
Yeah. So, as I was saying, I've kind of like we've been through all of them today. That's basically the main ones. The ones that I said I liked were The Forgotten City, Scarlet Nexus, which looks absolutely gorgeous. And then there was one more, Solasta. So those were the highlights of today, I would say, in terms of games and, something different. All of those games are completely different to one another. One we've got like a detective style game with Forgotten City, where, and you also have these manipulative powers of your environment and people, etc. I don't know how the detective element's going to work in there, but that should be interesting. Then there's Scarlet Nexus with all the psychokinesis abilities, and that looks pretty cool. For a JRPG, it's something different. And then we have Solasta, which was like more of your typical MMO RPG, but with those tactical elements. So there was a ton there to see today. But yeah, guys, it was really cool hanging out. I think that's all that they're going to show for, those different gameplays and trailers today, because we've pretty much seen the rest of SpongeBob. I mean, that's basically the same thing that we saw earlier. So I don't think that there's anything new to watch for SpongeBob. Um, let's see. So yeah, exactly. They're saying SpongeBob SquarePants. So I know, guys, if you want to keep watching that, I suggest you head over to the IGN like live stream if you want to see SpongeBob again, if you haven't already seen it, but I've already seen it. So Forgotten City and Recompiler for me. Oh yes, Recompiler was another one that was really interesting. The whole glitch element, and the narrative seems pretty cool. I think we're gonna have a little bit of a twist in there, because that character seems to look like a human but stuck inside a system. So I feel like the thing might come to life. We might see this character like be embodied and actually personified. So I don't know. I think that there's a lot to look forward to. especially if you're a PC gamer. I wish I had a better gaming PC, but there we go. It is what it is. And yeah, guys, keep an eye out on my Instagram because I'll be updating today or tomorrow. You know, in terms of the platform that I want to stream on. I might even do a test stream on YouTube for a week or so and just test the platform if nothing else. But I don't know. I may even just stick to Twitch. So check out my Instagram to keep up to date with me and, you know, all that sort of thing and all my little shenanigans as I do update it daily. And yeah, that's it for me today, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully, there's more gameplay and trailers going on. I will be streaming it. And I'll see you soon. So take care and have an awesome day.